Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where, this week it looks like lots of things are blowing up, including gaming. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. K. Asante, TK or Asante on other places we communicate. And I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the one that's on video. But is the sound all right? Mr. Everborn Saga, how you doing, sir?
I hope the sound is good.
Oh, it's not quite there. You're still connected
Jesus.
to the other one.
Am I? Okay, wait. I'm going to fix that right now.
There you go. See, this is what we do, ladies and gentlemen, on a morning. Oh, okay. Now I don't hear you at all. Hold on. Let me see if it's a problem on this side. No, it's not. It does show you automatic. So switch your mics back and forth again. Let's see if that fixes things.
Still I'm back on the head.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It doesn't sound good.
Go ahead.
I'm
going.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, let's work it out. Let's work it out. If the headphones are the only.
How about
you were there? You were there.
Nothing?
It's just a little. No, I hear you. Yeah, you there?
Okay.
Speak on it. There you go. It works. You're there. You're there.
Can the people hear me? Because I hear music
hear
72 saying they can't hear me. Okay.
The people can hear you, I think, but there's a little bit of a yeah, you're good. You're good now. Right. Oh, cool, thank goodness. Cool. Sometimes this is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, everyone? How you doing today?
I'm all right. Technical difficulties aside. Shout out to Satya's Windows 11. Got to put a name to it.
Indeed. We starting this thing off quite interesting this morning, and we will.
Certification, as they call it.
Oh, here Windows. We go. Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, I got other issues. We'll talk about that. I've been wanting to do a video, by the way, about the Super X. Remember they created this cool, new, amazing like technology that's like a full SSD, but at the size of a SIM card.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Gigs, terabytes of storage in tiny package. Windows sees it, goes, ooh, this is shiny. 20 minutes later, I don't know it anymore. Keeps doing that over and over again. Like it recognizes it in the Super X. It's beautiful. You load your stuff on it super fast. 20, 30 minutes of it. I think it probably idles power, and then eventually it's not able to power it on again until you reboot the machine. Enshittification of Windows.
I see.
Happening right now. Anyway.
And shout out to A. Rodimus. He says, daily reminder, Xbox is dead.
Indeed.
I just have a question. If it's truly dead now, does anyone admit that they're wrong for the last decade that it was dead?
And it was dead before?
Yeah.
That is another question. Yeah. I don't know about that. That would have to have you have to mea culpa for all the other times you were screaming the FUD. I don't think we're gonna get that far, but okay. All right. So today we're gonna talk games. There's a lot of news stuff to talk about. There's a lot of Hollywood stuff to talk about. There's just a lot to talk about. But I want to start with the gaming because I know you've been playing some things.
I think we got like half on the reel and half gaming today because
yeah.
Times are
and there's a lot of games and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So I think first and foremost, shout out to all the wonderful people that are in our chat, wonderful people that are in our Discord that join us every week, every day on Discord, and every week on this show. If you want to be a part of that Discord family, you can join us at discord.gg/TGCP. That is the banner that is on your screen right now. Join that, and then you can talk with us. We can talk with you daily. We are on that Discord in voice chat even. So most people think Discord and they go, oh, and I got to type out. No, this is not Twitter on Discord. This is us working, living our lives on video, on audio rather, with headphones on, talking a lot of smack throughout the day. And we enjoy ourselves.
I'd also like to say, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should probably correct that post haste. Also, if you didn't hit like, at the least you could do.
You know what it is. But yes, join us. We always have great conversations. And some of those conversations are actually what lends to what the main topics that we have on this show today. So if you want to help us, pick what we're going to talk about, you want to be part of that conversation, discord.gg/GCP. So there's that. And, I think we should just start straight up and talk games. because there are a few games I want to talk about, and then there's a lot of stories, and I want to keep it concise. We're not doing the 4-hour podcast today. We're not doing that. So, Mr. Everborn Saga, I know you've been playing Resident Evil, sir.
Oh,
want to talk about it?
Well, I do. Let me just get some of the other things out of the way. Okay. I picked up a few indie games, and so one of them was called Emberbane.
Emberbane?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Emberbane.
This is a pixel art precision platformer Metroidvania.
Ooh. Okay.
Right.
Man speaks my language. All right. Let's find it.
So this is not for the faint of heart. It is all about, you have some platformers that are about like, you got to explore, you get lost, you get a power up. That's a regular Metroidvania. This is one of those ones where good because the obstacles that they throw at you is one of those things that'll have your thumbs with carpal tunnel, right? Like
okay.
So you'll see.
I love the art style, man.
Well,
I love that.
Actually,
smooth.
It is very smooth.
Yeah.
I hate the character model. She's running like a weeaboo with her hands behind her back, and I'm like, did you have to do this way?
No, but I like it. I like the aesthetic. It's kind of cool, and the fire, it's not bad, man.
And it has this really nice animated intro, very well voice acted. But it's like it's a Metroidvania, but it's an old school platformer.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks real cool. It looks really cool. What's this called again? Emberbane?
Emberbane.
Okay. How long have you been playing this?
No. I just gave this about an hour because it was one of those things when I was picking up Resident Evil. While I was waiting, I was like, let me see what the indie space is doing. So I picked this one up. And then I picked up another one. By the way, there's a bundle right now that you can get on what's the name of this?
Oh, hold on. Real quick, shout out to the great Aaron. Aaron VR in the house says the nerd in me feels so damn welcome here. Thank you, sir. This is what we do here on a Saturday morning. We appreciate it. All right. That is awesome. See, that makes me feel great.
All right. So
what you get?
Shout out to Aaron. All right, let me find the name of this other game. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I got it. There's a game called Cathedral that is on sale for like 75% off. You can get it for $5. But if you go to Aniba, you can get this game called Cathedral plus Alwa's Awakening and Alwa's Legacy. Alwa's Legacy is part 2 of Alwa's Awakening. That's 3 Metroidvania games for a grand total of $6.
How about you put that link in the chat, good sir, so that more folks can find that? I'd be about it.
I want you to show them Cathedral and then Alwa's Legacy.
I think this is Cathedral. Yeah. Here we go. So Cathedral. Oh, this is very much. It's almost in the style of, I would say, what do you call it? Almost in the style of something like a Hollow Knight type style, right? Like
no,
that's what you call it today. I meant Shovel Knight. Yes, that's what I meant. Yes.
But not. Yeah.
Honestly, but Shovel Knight takes Nintendo-esque style, so you could basically say it's old school, but still, I like it. It's good.
Right.
All right.
So if you get it in the bundle, it's only like $3.75. But Steam, if you buy it directly, is like $5.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I like it. I like it. All right.
Now I want you to and we'll go through these quick. There's another one called Alwa's Legacy. So ALWAS.
Okay.
Legacy.
ALWAS. Alwa's ALWAS.
Yes.
Okay. Alwa's Legacy, which is
yes.
Okay. I'm trying to find it here real quick. There you go. Alwa's Legacy. Here's a bit of gameplay on that, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. Okay. Also, very, very much.
No. This looks like Awakening because this is the first one.
Okay. So
it got a big.
Hey, you're right. This is Alwa's Awakening, not Legacy.
Glow up.
Yeah.
This is also $1 and some change. This came out 2017, but in 2022, they did Alwa's Legacy.
Legacy. Oh yeah. See, I just typed in hours, so Legacy. All right.
By the way, Denzi G83 says that Cathedral is much more like Wonder Boy, and he's correct.
Oh, very cool. Okay, that's a good call. I love Wonder Boy. Big fan of that game. Hold on, there you go. So Hours Legacy. Let's take a look at that.
Yes. So this is you'll notice the graphical glow up.
Yep. Definitely an update. Yep. Let's get
again. This game is $1.80 right now. If you go to
okay,
you fast forward through it so you can see some of the gameplay. But
let's see. All right, look at that.
You see,
very old school in it. Yeah, oh yeah. They've done a lot more. Almost 16-bit from 8 to 16-bit in this aesthetic. Yes. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Now, how did you come across these? Are these part of the
No, these were I found these in the bundle because I was looking for Cathedral.
Okay.
I found Cathedral on Steam for $5, and then of course Joey from the GCP community, Dr. Dry Rub, you may know him, frequent code giver, was like, hold my beer. He went to Aniba and was like, I'll get all 3 of these games for the same $5 on Aniba. So that I didn't find it on Aniba, but Dr. Dry Rub did, and so I ended up picking up all 3 of them. And this is actually the one that I stuck with. There's just something about it that fits my sensibilities. It seems very basic now, but what happens is you see those 3 slots that you have there in the top right. Those are things that you can create in the world. So you can create like a block that is pushable, right? And you can use that to get to places, or you can create a bubble that rises for 1.5 seconds, and you can jump on that bubble to get higher, but it'll pop. And then there's another thing that you can do. So, but you can only do, if you make one, it'll negate the other one, right? So they do some really interesting things with the platforming with those powers you get. It's the thing that this game does that's different from the other stuff. So very awesome. Actually, I like this one, and I would have been playing it, but
if it wasn't for Resident Evil.
If it wasn't for Resident Evil. And the last indie game we're going to talk about is, and I'm going to tell you the name of it right now. It's like a top-down Link to the Past style game. I'm going to tell you what that is right now.
Great for radio.
Under the Island.
Under the Island. Okay. Under the Island. Okay. All right. You all about them indies today, huh? Under the Island. Okay.
This is what I was doing all week until Resident Evil came out. And then we'll talk about it now. But I stayed up all last night. I played for like 4 hours straight.
Okay.
If you fast forward through this, you'll see what I mean. It's a top-down action adventure game in the style.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. And you're using what?
Hockey has a hockey stick. Yes, because it's present day. It's like a present day game.
Okay. Very nice. And you're beating up what like raccoons and things?
Animals and things that come to fight you, things like that.
Very nice.
There's still chests and everything. There's still magic and all that, but it just takes place present day. You're a kid that has moved to a new town, and there's something going on, and it's like a Zelda game. And they do this, like when you first find the first chest, you think you're going to get a sword, and it says, "Oh, someone took my sword. They left this here in place," and it's the hockey stick, so that's what you play with.
That's very good. I love it when you can tell that in styles like this, you can tell that these are people who grew up like we did, like playing those games, and instead they were like, you know what, it's time for me to put my own tinge on it, and it really comes out really cool and inspired. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and again, the visual, I really like the visuals because it's pixel art, but it's still very modern, and you got very really cool animation. So. Definitely if you need that sort of Link to the Past style kick, like this will scratch that itch for sure. All right, are you ready for the main event?
But wait for it. Let's quickly the great MJ Dark is the first super chatter of the day. We found out super chat. Shout out to MJ Dark. He says, switch to bodying Series S in Resident Evil 9. Now you're playing with power. Reminder, Blessing in oh my God, blessing in the Spider-Man 2 with Greg, the hard-nosed question.
Oh my God.
Gojima.
Don't get me started.
Come with the slander already starting with this thing, man. We appreciate you being here, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you want to talk Resident Evil?
I do want to
you
talk
do.
Resident Evil.
Before you do, I have one indie and one big game. I'll leave my big game to the end and I'll let you do Resident Evil. Before I do that, though, I do for sure. Before I do want to say, y'all know that the Next Fest is going on right now. If you don't know that Next Fest is going on right now, for all my new
demo players,
there's a story about this that I will tell you later. I can't tell you on Front Street, but you will change your mind about demos after I tell you the story. But that can't be here. Maybe for the Discord, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so for those who don't know, specifically
like
for,
teased. I want to buy the games when they come out.
No, bro. If I could only tell it to you right now, we'll talk about this later. Anyway, right. So for all my people out there who currently, your ROG Ally players who now have access to Steam, but they never really want to, dip their toe in that water because it's not really their waters to swim in, right? It's good to have access, but they're not really about it. This may be how you get your feet wet. Today, this week, until I think next week, there is the Next Fest going on. A bunch of free demos. You just hit download. It joins your library. You're playing. There's no barrier of entry at all. Just hit the button and play the game. You just have to obviously log into Steam to do it. Bunch of free games. Bunch of awesome games that you've wanted to try. Games that will be on console at some point. A lot of them out there right now. But the only one that I will talk about, because I cannot stop playing this game, it is wildly attractive and amazing looking. It's a game called The Eternal Life of Goldman. Don't know if you've heard about it.
Is it out?
Bro, it's only in demo form. I've played it 18 times already.
Nope. I want to know life comes out.
Then close your eyes, sir, because people need to know this game exists. It is wildly attractive. I have never seen, I would say the one that's closest to it visually, the one that's closest to it from oh my God, this is graphically gobsmacking perspective, is probably No Rest for the Wicked. You know how they use the parallax and the graphical fidelity, similar to this. It is so good looking. Oh my God, it's so good looking. And of course, had to play it on the OLED because, man, oh my God, this game is something else. Okay, it's only in demo form right now. Keep it on your wish list, on your radar. Let's get to some gameplay so you can see it. Ultimately, it's DuckTales, if you know what I'm talking about. It's DuckTales. You're jumping on people's heads with the cane. You know what I'm saying? That's what this game is. But it's also old school difficult. If you're not careful, you'll get your ass handed to you many times in this game. But it is very beautiful. Graphically, it's super intensive, and the gameplay elements, while seeming simple at first, just get more and more in depth. So and quickly you'll see, you bounce off people's heads with the pogo stick, as it were. Eventually the sticks start your cane. You can craft elements to make the cane stronger. So the stronger the cane, you can jump higher now. You can do different things with the cane. Obviously, it's a demo, so they're not revealing everything to you. But there are parts where the cane has a hook, right? Because canes, you hold it, there's a hook. So now you can use that hook of the cane to hang on to ledges, so you can get to further places that you couldn't get to before. It is such an interesting concept that they have blown out to really cool degrees, and it looks so cool, so cool. You got to play it. Even the demo, man, you got to play the demo. It's really good, bro. You got to play the demo. Just remember, I said this to you about Ninja Gaiden, and then 2-3 weeks later, you were like, "Oh, bro, Ninja Gaiden's amazing." Because the demo.
No. Let's stop that. Let's not pretend I didn't know Ninja Gaiden was going to be amazing. I just said I don't want to play it yet.
Now you can get into it now.
No, I'm good. I'll wait till I can play the whole thing straight, like I did with Ninja Gaiden and with Shinobi.
Yeah. So I will say, if you are not a demo,
do you have to actively jump on the heads or you have to press another button to do it? Okay, it's not like Mario.
You have to actively. No, this is not just it automatically does it. That's why I said this is DuckTales. If you play DuckTales, you know what I'm talking about. You have to actively bounce on his head. Okay. We were talking about Shovel Knight. Same concept. You have to jump on their heads, specifically at button press, or you fall, or you touch them and you get hurt.
Okay,
that's how that works, right? So it is, and it's all puzzles, right? It's all timing. It's all puzzles. The whole thing is always constant puzzles, and you got to figure out how they move so you know how to move past it and all this. It is excellent, man. It's excellent. It is like when it comes out, I guarantee this thing will be in Game of the Year conversation. It is so really, really good. Oh my God.
This is going to be a rough year, but it should be.
I'm telling you.
This is why we need like a platformer or a Metroidvania category at the Game Awards.
Yep. I agree.
Every year there is one that rises to this level of being able to stand with the big boys. And at that point, at the very least, they should have their own category.
Yep. You're not wrong. I sincerely agree that specifically in the Metroidvania in this category now, as mature as it has gotten, yeah, it's time to give it.
Listen. I'm gonna lobby Paris, see if he can lobby Jeff the next time he sees him to get a category in. Like Metroidvanias in the last couple of years have proliferated such that you have so many that come out of in the year that you should have a category for it.
We agree. So say we all. Well, so say most of us. I think Lucius will fight you, but even he recently had a different tone.
He's a hater on 2D games, so that's fine.
All right, so I say go try this.
It's not worth it. Forget it. Forget everything I said. It's not worth it.
Well done. Well played. Go try out the Next Fest. I think even Xbox and a few others are also doing demos right now. It is the season for that. But yo, this is really cool. This is really cool. And obviously because Steam is just that easy with demos and stuff like that, you tend to get more there than you get everywhere else. So if you have your handheld device, if you have the ability to access, shout out to Neat Pick, whose video I'm using.
Here's my other thing around that, and I don't want to make this a whole like soapbox, right? But even if it's not a thing, like, do you understand the visibility that games get just for being nominated? And this would basically be a full indie category because Sons of Sparta wouldn't get nominated. But the kind of spotlight that you would get on indies who put in so much work in this space and what it could do for the teams that make these kind of games, I just think it's good for the industry and it's good for indies if you have a Metroidvania of the Year award. There's enough of them at quality that I think it's deserved. I think somebody needs to talk to Jeff about it, and I think Paris will do it, even if I will not admit that Sonic sucks, because Sonic's about to have a new game this year. And it's probably going to be a contender. But anyway.
All right. So this is your time. I know you've been playing Resident Evil 9. I have not started playing Resident Evil 9 yet. I will eventually, but I have not started playing Resident Evil 9 yet. I tend to go off the beaten path when big games come out. You tell me about why Resident Evil 9 is the next big monster game. And oh, by the way, Steam Deck players can't play it, unfortunately, because it's one of the first games that can't run on the Steam Deck.
Well, that's not true because Alex, it's Alex played it, and
he was able to get it. Okay, because you could probably fudge your way through it because there's always ways of making Proton work, but by default, it's not working easly. So tell me about Resident Evil.
Not according to Alex, but I haven't tried it.
Oh, okay.
So I'll leave it to him. Anyways, so first of all, yeah, this FBI director played by a brother was a real brother playing that. Now,
I know this gentleman. I know his face. He's done some other acting roles. Yes.
Yeah. Now, so one thing I do want to say, so if you pre-ordered the game, you get like an apocalypse outfit, right? Okay. No, but it's funny, right? Because her clothes are all ripped up. She has like paint on her face and stuff like that. If you select that at the beginning, even in this scene while she's in the FBI,
you're looking all crazy,
like hair disheveled. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is she in the office typing like this with her clothes ripped? It's very weird. But yeah,
there's your video game ludonarrative dissonance for you. There you
go. I don't be playing. Now I played on the 4090, right? But I don't play these games with the stats on, right? I'm not looking at FPS, but I didn't notice any stutter. I didn't notice any of that. And what this game does with ray tracing, even the way it loaded the shaders, and then the loading screens are just really between chapters and it's nothing. And it doesn't even have issues switching between the game and the cutscenes. By the way, this is real time what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is one of the most beautiful games that I've ever seen. And that's just like, you see this city that seems like it's a setup, right? Later on, when they introduce Leon right here, you're in the middle of some chaos that's going on that I won't.
It is super
spoil
dense,
what it is.
Woof,
and people are running around, fully ray traced, everything. And I didn't know how I was gonna feel about, you know, switching back and forth between these characters. I was just thinking, you know, I'll just play as Leon if they let me. No, you got to switch back and forth. Let me tell you something. You know how some people are in Resident Evil and they just love, you know, the first person chains that they did. I mean, right now it's my game of the year, but this is going to be a long year, right? You got Crimson Desert, you got Wolverine, you got those other things. So I'm sure it's going to get given a run for its money. But right now, this is the front runner. But again, just to you're not seeing any of these like shader compilation stutters, none of that.
Okay. Shout out to Infinite Umbra and all the hate for UE5.
Well, RE Engine giving Unreal a run for its money here. So, and all the thing is, they do all of this stuff effortlessly, right? The game doesn't struggle at all. And again, back to the design of the game, right? So you've got Grace. She's a young FBI agent. She's not a part of this world. So you play with her almost like you were in Resident Evil 7 with Ethan before he was trained by, you know, Chris Redfield, right? She's still scared of this stuff. So when you're playing with her, by default, it's first person. You could switch it to third, but by default, it's first person. It's a lot scarier that way. And I'm telling you, everything they did with Resident Evil Village, this is just taken to the next level. Like you're in a hotel. Well, you start out in a hotel and then you go to some mansion or medical facility or whatever. But you are scared when you're playing as her, right? Because she's not trained, she's running from stuff. There's barely any ammo around when you're playing as her. So it really is survival horror. And there are people that got kind of annoyed with that with Resident Evil 7. It was scary, but it felt like
me from continuing to play it.
Right. It felt like a coward simulator, right? You're just running.
Couldn't do it anymore.
Game, right?
Yeah.
But what
I did that in VR too. Forget about it.
Every chapter, you're going to play as Grace first, and then they're going to show you what Leon is doing at that time. And so when you switch to Leon, you're now in Resident Evil 4 mode. Basically, this switches from running to stalking.
Gunning.
Right.
Running and gunning, yes.
Right. So now you're not afraid of them because you're Leon, you're jump kicking zombies and stuff, right? Taking their chainsaws from them. And now you have that action element. So you have the power fantasy, and then you have the survival horror. And as soon as you get tired of hiding, then they switch it to the power fantasy. And when you get like, all right, I'm done hacking and slashing, now it comes back to Grace, and now you're creeping and crawling, right? And they just do it in this way. And what they do with the ray tracing here, how it lends to the lighting in the dark places, and how light creeps into a room, and the things that are crawling in the background, and the 3D sound, everything. Me and my wife, every Friday night, we do movie night, and we are horror buffs, so we usually try to find whatever horror movies out on Fridays. She just watched me play this weekend. And I'm telling you right now, there's a scene early on, and those who have gotten this far in the game know there's going to be a hand that comes from the corner of the screen. Oh my God. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing else. Something's gonna come out from the corner of the screen. If you know, you know. This is everything great that Resident Evil has done over the years, and they've brought it all into this one thing. And to me, all of it works. And like, it is so refreshing to see what they're doing from a performance level, but fascinating to see that a franchise that's this old, that started on the PS1, right? With with Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Wesker, and whatever the other guy's name is, I can't think of it right now. Started there with the tank controls to now be at this, and how many times Resident Evil has reinvented itself, and it all comes together, all the best of, and it has all the ambiance, and the pacing is really good right now. And again, I'm only 4 hours in, so this is not my review, this is my first impression, but of my 4 hours, and my 4-hour experience is a 10 out of 10. I love this game. I cannot recommend it enough.
This dude is glazing.
No.
Wow. Okay. Damn. Okay. So I assume we're gonna hear Everborn Saga no lifing this thing.
Oh yeah, I'm no lifing this is done. I apologize to the indie games. That's why I made sure I played so many this week.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to go to the side for about the 2 weeks it's gonna take me to beat this thing.
Yeah.
I love it. This is the Everborn.
Shout out to Game Tech talking here. He's agreeing with you. He says RE9 is amazing. I think it, like everyone's basically
graphics,
saying
story,
it's a new benchmark for graphics, right?
Pacing, everything, top notch.
Very good.
This is how you respect the franchise.
So are we saying that with this, the RE engine is now like here to stay?
No, we're not saying that, because the RE, they'll tell you something different, but it's the Resident Evil engine. Right? Like we saw how it performed in Dragon's Dogma, and Monster Hunter Wilds wasn't great when it launched. I heard they put out a big update to fix the performance, so I will try that. But in RE
for Resident Evil, it does the thing. I get you. So in other words, it is not ready to come for Unreal yet until it starts to being able to change its spots a little bit better. Right now, it's just really good at what it does.
Now, let me ask you a question. When does Crimson Desert come out? Because I'm going to need at least 2 weeks to beat this game.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I reached out to Mr. Powers, if you remember Mr. Powers, who we spoke to about Crimson Desert, and to see if he might anoint us with early access.
We met him at
PAX East. Yes. I sent him a message. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, but sent him a message saying, hey, maybe we can start that process early, because I know that game's going to take a minute, being what it is. So I'll keep up to it. See what happens. Maybe we can get a chance to jump in on it early, so we can really like talk about it when it comes out.
Okay.
Before we continue,
March 19th for Crimson Desert. So that gives me enough time to beat Resident Evil. I love that they spaced it properly.
Yeah, very nice. Let's catch us for a couple super chats. The man Parasite 82 Green 19. What a £5 super chat, or is it? I would say euro. Right? No, pound.
No, that might be a pound.
Yeah. These days, my brain, it's been a minute. My bad. He says, no wife or daughter this week. Ooh, lucky you. they got the virus? Ooh, uh-oh. I hope they're all right, making the rounds in the UK.
I hope it's not the T
Silver lining.
Talking about,
I know, right? We're just talking. Silver lining. I can catch you live. Keep up the good work, fellas. Great beards. Oh, that's awesome, man. Thank you for checking us out. That's awesome.
Real quick. Umbra. I'm sorry.
Says, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
He says he's getting FOMO. Listen to Everborn, love RE9, but need to go through 6, 7, and 8 first. Listen, you don't need to play 7 and 8 to play this, because it's not a direct continuation of those games. Maybe you got to play 6, but I didn't play 6, and I don't feel like I'm losing anything. So you don't have to go back. If you want to play this, just play it. And it's not like you got to wait for performance update, because it's already running fantastic now.
The reason why I kind of agree with him, though, is Resident Evil purports to be about the Resident Evil, about the T virus and all that. But as you even explained, as you were explaining it, it's about the people, it's about, Redfield, and it's about Valentine. And if you haven't had those experiences with them, when they show up here, you kind of don't have those references.
Yeah, but
you kind of want to play those,
if he played 4, which I think he did because that wasn't on his list, then he knows who Leon is. Nobody knows who Grace is.
See, and another thing I say with that is I played 7, right? And I played 8, even though I liked and didn't like them in different ways. So 7, like you said, for me was a scared simulator, and I played it in VR, which made it even worse, right? And it kind of cured me of Resident Evil. And then Village, I actually thought was nicer because it gave you a bit more capabilities, right?
Sorry,
I feel like what you're describing here stitches 7 and 8 together, where you have half one and half the other. Playing 7 and 8 kind of.
No, what this is and from a gameplay narratively, it's nothing to do with 7 and 8.
Sure.
I'm not disrespecting 7. 7 was amazing. I loved Village. I'm just saying narratively, you don't need to have played those.
Sure.
What's going on
it's
here?
It's like what do you call it? It's like Final Fantasy.
Yes.
They're all self-contained.
From a gameplay perspective, what you're talking about is a mixture of Resident Evil 7 and a Resident Evil 4.
8. Yes.
No,
and 4.
Not
okay.
8.
Okay.
7 and 4 is what you're getting from a gameplay perspective.
Excellent. Okay. Let me catch up on one more super chat. And the great Paris Lily. With a Barbie
I love the avatar. I love it. It is perfect.
So let's get to that real quick. Second super chat from the great Hollywood Rules. $5 super chat. Shout out to you, good sir. He says, good morning, fellow graybeards. Resident Evil is ridiculous. I just finished RE4 remake to play this now. Amazing so far. Y'all are getting me with this, man.
If Umbra said he was playing RE4 to come into this, I would understand. You don't need to play 7 and 8 to get to this.
So salute to the great Paris Lily, whose video about RE I actually saw this morning as well. Welcome, sir. How you doing? We want to talk about Resident Evil.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, man.
I was actually grabbing coffee, so I walked away.
No worries.
By the way, I love the sub tag. I believe that we should bring back healthy console warring. I've always been a fan of it. Keep going.
Well, you always know my subtitles are pure sarcasm because no, we should not.
Healthy. I said healthy, but keep going.
And you know that's impossible. But I will just say about Resident Evil. Yeah, man. I mean, that's for me. This is the first. Oh wow, Game of the Year contender. I think like you were saying, Everborn. Like I've completed it now. I finished it last night, and man, it's so good, and it has replayability. Like you're gonna want to go in and play at the harder difficulty, and just so much to do. I love that you get the 2 different perspectives. So Grace in first person, don't switch to third person. Stay in that 100%. But Leon in third person makes total sense as well, right? It's such a great game, and Capcom has just been on one lately, man. I mean, Pragmata's about to come out, Onimusha's about to come out. Obviously, here with Resident Evil, you know, I played on PC. I did a sponsored thing with Nvidia, so I haven't.
Which we're playing right now.
Yeah. I'm seeing it now. I appreciate that. But
90 Paris.
Yeah, 5090 DLSS 4, you know, multi-frame generation, the ray tracing, the path tracing, the lighting in this is insane on PC. So highly recommend if you got the rig to do it.
Leon driving the Porsche with the headlights on in the beginning.
This was wild, bro.
About Paris.
So I saw this, I was like, no, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Damn. Good morning, everybody.
No, but anyone sitting here watching this, listening to this, go get Resident Evil. You want to play this. It's really, really good.
Okay.
Paris, I have to confess, I set my auto aim to 10 and put it on follow. I don't care. I did it.
Lord.
I don't feel shame about it.
Is that the Everborn Saga mode? Is that what we're saying?
Hey,
well, it's funny.
Can't be wasting bullets.
Like the gameplay I'm showing, because I didn't want to spoil anything. This is obviously super early, but this is my literally me playing it for the first time right here. So I may or may not have switched up a few things with the aiming and shooting.
And as you should. Listen, they don't give you enough bullets with Grace. I can't be wasting Grace bullets trying to move the reticle around the aim. Nah, 10 and follow. Don't care. Long hair. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So you finished this thing. Paris, what are your thoughts? You said it's a contender. Where do you fall as far as score right now?
At least a 9. Might even be a 9.5.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So what did you not like about it then that makes it not a perfect 10?
Not much, other than honestly, I wish it was longer. If I had any slight critique, but okay. that's where I say there's replayability there as well. You definitely are going to want to go back and play through it again.
Okay. So what was your total time completion when you were done?
Ironically enough, I thought, oh man, I'm going to finish this in like 10 hours. Wound up being 14.
Okay. So it's still a healthy double-digit amount. I thought it was like 8 or something. Okay. That's great. Okay.
Those are my all right. I'm not really a fan of these 30 and 40-hour games. Too many games. I don't got time for that. That's
not enough time for that.
14, 15 hours. That's up my alley. Still gonna take me 2 weeks to do.
But now I don't want to shift too far away if y'all have more Resident Evil talk, but I do want to comment on Crimson Desert. So so they did actually there's embargo stuff, so maybe I shouldn't say what I know, but there was a preview event. No, I'm not. Because I didn't go. Danny went. I had work stuff. Okay. I couldn't go. So Danny went, but he obviously told me stuff, but I will not say it here because I'm pretty sure there's still an embargo. Yeah, but no worries. I will say for me, okay, Freddie Fox. Yeah, if you're an a-hole to me on social media, I will 100% block you, just so you know. But I'm highly intrigued for Crimson Desert, but I do have a slight pause. We've yet to see any console footage. Everything is PC. Even when PlayStation had their video, it was PC. And as ambitious as this game is, it looks like it's doing a lot. That can either be a great thing or it could be a complete disaster. I'm of the opinion this is either going to be one of the best games we've ever seen or it's going to be just a complete disaster. I don't think there's any in between with this, but I'm rooting for him. I want to see Pearl Abyss knock this out.
Well, that makes me wonder. We know that there was the thing that came out that PlayStation tried to get exclusivity on it, and they said no. Maybe part of that was because if they did that, that would be the only way to see the game in that light, and maybe they knew it was going to perform better on PC, and if they left it to the PlayStation alone, it would have came out, and the only way you could play it is someplace where it was struggling.
Yeah.
I played it on the 4090, so.
But that's the thing, though. I'm not going to call it a red flag, but it is definitely
yellow flag
toward. Yeah, I mean, a kind of an orange hue, let's say, right?
So
because obviously,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say this real quick because it goes back to Cyberpunk. This was the Cyberpunk playbook. They only showed us PC footage. Review codes went out. We only got PC codes. They purposely, hid, the Xbox One and the PS4 versions. And then when everyone got them, we obviously saw what the result was. So we'll see.
Okay. See, on Crimson Desert, my only little orange hue on this one is I remember their older game and their MMO style game. And I actually played that for just a tiny bit, and I got a chance to early on before, like this is way on in when they started marketing this thing. Got a chance to play a little bit of Crimson Desert in Germany. Like the thing that I saw then, which has revised considerably since then, was like it was PC first in its control scheme. It's like so good, but it got so much to do, and it kind of made the controls not as intuitive. It was a little bit complicated. I was just like, sometimes it felt like they were reinventing the wheel a little bit sometimes, you know what I mean? Like there's just so much you can do with your character that it's like, it at the time, it seemed like it was trying to go for realness at the cost sometimes of fun a little. So I was just like,
and that's my thing. It's like, are they trying to do too much? Look, I hope they pull it off.
Yeah. But I hope, and they've revised it considerably since I last got a chance to try it. So I'm waiting like everybody else to see if they land that plane. But I'm excited for it because it looks really ambitious, no doubt. It looks super ambitious. Any other games y'all want to talk about? I have one last game I want to discuss, and then we can move on to some stories.
No, if I talk about Resident Evil more, I'm gonna spoil it. But Paris, you saw that hand that came from the side of the screen that I was talking about, right?
It's in this video.
Yeah,
it's in the video that I put up.
So Paris, I was telling Kay before you got here, like me and the missus watch horror movies all the time, every Friday. So this time we just said, you know what? Let's just watch me play this game. Terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified.
So,
anyway, go ahead.
So at his request, I will read his super chat right now. The great infinite number with $2 super chat. He goes, "Who let Paris in here?" with a face.
See, Umbra been out of pocket for a while now. You know, he likes to take little swipes at me because you know I listen to various shows, as you know, and he'll be on there. He'll take a little swipe. He likes to mock my voice, and he's been accumulating strikes. And he actually had reduced the strikes the other day, but then he's tried to slander me again in the chat. So now he's increased it. You're up to 15 now, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I want to say that I approve Umbra slander, and it is retribution for your Sonic slander. So keep it up, Umbra.
Okay. All right. Last game I want to talk about that we can move on. We can start talking about some stories because there's some really interesting things out there. But quickly, they sent me a code, so I want to shout them out. This is for a game that's been out for a little bit. When it first came out, I was like, I wanted to try it, but the reviews it didn't give me pause, but I was in the middle of lots of other things. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot at some point. It's a game called Echoes in the End. Echoes in the End. Now,
Echoes of the End or?
No, of the End. You're right. Absolutely right.
Okay, I have that game.
Echoes of the End. Yes, you have that. What was your first synopsis?
Didn't play it.
Have you tried it? You didn't play it. Okay.
I bought it though. They got my money.
Yeah. So when it first came out, people were really, really talking about it, and it had a lot of buzz. But it had some odd ends and a few things here and there. There was some pacing complaints and a few things like that. There was some bugs here and there. So they've recently, not recently, but in the last couple of months, put out an enhanced patch and fixes the pacing, fixes a lot of the stuff that people were complaining about. And yeah, it's actually pretty good. I hadn't had a chance to get my hands on it. Story-wise, I think is actually very worthy. It's a AA style game in the best way possible. I would really, really give this a shot. Why I ended up starting playing this is because the story is very, very intriguing. It's a story you've heard before. Brother, sister, the world has a new feature that allows certain individuals to get certain capabilities, and I'm keeping it very, very vague because it's really cool that you learn it as you go, and eventually you turn into kind of a powerhouse. You're a special individual in this world, and you're protecting your brother. That's your brother in there right now, and something happens with your family, and then you basically have to go find him, and it leads to broader implications for the world and the factions that you're playing with. But I really, really enjoyed this game. It kind of gives me old school. Remember back in the day when we had AA games that we just you would get them and you'd play them for a couple of hours. It would give you these kind of feelings, and then you'd move on to another game. It wasn't like this big, huge, epic scale game, but it had a lot of heart and the storytelling was great. It's very sword and board fantasy, and the accents are very much on point. Mr. Everborn Saga, they have these Scandinavian accents that I think really suit the mood and the tone and the place. Very cool. I really appreciate that.
Yes, people think that it's just I'm just like, oh, you got to have a British accent. No, you have to have an accent of a place that's older than the United States.
Yes, it has to fit the tone. And you're not wrong on that. And I was actually laughing because when I first started playing this game, and you got the sword and board, I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And I started playing more of it, and I'm just like, because I usually standard the man of once. Y'all know I enjoy doing so. But in this instance, as I've been playing it, I have to say I kind of agree with his assessment here. It only makes the game better that the characters that are there kind of give it a good emphasis. It actually lends more to the storytelling and where they're from and the way they
verisimilitude.
Exactly. Not to diminish it by a cheap comparison, but the feelings that I got from this game, and I mean it in the best way possible. This is kind of like how I got when I was playing Banishers. I don't know if you remember Banishers.
Yes.
Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden. Very kind of like that. Very really shot their shot here. and you can tell that it's a smaller team that's working with a lot, and doing a lot with it. Lots of environmental puzzles that you sometimes will get stumped on. It starts easy, but it gets complicated. Many layers of environmental story puzzles sometimes, where you have to know where you went before to go where you need to go, and then you're using your powers to reverse time to kind of unbreak things that are broken in order to traverse the world. It's pretty dang cool. So that's what it's called. That's what it is. It's called Echoes of the End. I made a mistake the last time. I won't do that. And I received the code. So shout out to Keymailer for providing the code. But yeah, I think people should try it. I really have enjoyed it. I'm about 10 hours in. I'm gonna keep playing it till it's done. But yeah, it's really cool. And then after this, I'll probably go back to I'll probably play Resident Evil. But I've really been enjoying my time with this. It's called Echoes of the End, and I think people should be giving it a shot. So there's that. Thank y'all. Besides that, let's see what else we doing here. I will say before we get into it, please, if you haven't done so, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. All that stuff. We do this every week. If you don't want to hit the like or subscribe, maybe you also want to potentially join our Discord, because this is what we do on a daily. We get on Discord.
Hold on. He's slow-mo starting with his nonsense again. European accents are the only real accents in the world. No, I said accents that are older than the United States. Could be Asian accents, could be African accents, could be Middle Eastern accents. All of these places that existed before Southern drawl or Southern California accents in a fantasy game. Why is this so hard to understand?
Okay, are we going to do this? These, ladies and gentlemen, are the Discord conversations that we tend to have on a weekly basis. Speaking of that, actually, before we even get to the story,
just because you thought the new Dragon Age was a masterpiece, talking about these enemies go hard in a fantasy game, doesn't mean that. Anyway, we're not gonna do this.
We're not gonna do this right now. I will say this week's Discord mission, as it were, is to count down the top 10 Genesis games. We started on Friday. We cultivated the list. We're about, I think, 75 towards 80 games, and this week will be us doing battle to find out the top 10. So if you want to be part of that, you know where to join. Discord.gg/TGCP. Usually there's 20 people in a Discord voice chat, literally doing battle, and one of us is the ringleader, keeping people concise and voting and all of that. So that's what we're doing. We've done that to NES. We're close to finishing with the SNES, but we were getting too hot and contentious. So I'm like, let's move on. And now we're doing Genesis, then we'll head back to SNES. But join us.
Can I interrupt for just a second?
Yes, sir. Of course.
I put a link in the private chat thing.
Indeed.
Digital Foundry actually just put up a PC tech preview for Crimson Desert.
Okay. Very nice.
Ironically enough, Will Power's the one that tweeted it out. I was like,
there you go. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So I will put that in the chat here. I will ask that y'all go check it out for yourself.
We can put that in the chat later. We don't want to set up the Digital Foundry right now while we do the live stream.
Sure. It's a video. You want to go watch it? It's available for you to watch. We doing it live, bro.
All right.
I am secure that you will not leave, because we have a lot.
Go hit the like button before you go.
Indeed. But all right, let's get into this thing. So, we have a lot of different kind of stories we want to talk about. With Paris here, do you want to start on the real stuff real quick?
Yeah, all right, Paris. So we got
No. But wait. I want to be specific on which one we want to start with first. Are we starting with Bad Bod of War?
I'm gonna run him through it. I'm gonna run Paris through the topics.
Go ahead.
All right. So we there's a lot happening in Hollywood this week, Paris, and there's three main things we want to talk about. One is that God of War casting picture, hilarious. Two, Jonathan Majors is trying to make a comeback in a very interesting way. And three, the Warner Brothers Paramount thing. That is on the Hollywood side. On the gaming side, we've got the PlayStation rumors of reverting away from the PC strategy, which we'll talk about, but don't make any sense to me. And then we've got information about Blue Point wanting to do Bloodborne and getting shut down. Like the idea, right? And then we've got the interview with the new Xbox CEO Asher Sharma. So what do you want to talk about first? Because we know you are on limited time.
PlayStation, PC stuff.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay. So basically, it sounds like Sony may be backing away from their PC dreams. Now, I have a tinfoil kufi theory about this thing when we get there, but the story basically looks like they are backing away, as is reported by PC Gamer. Joshua Wallens reports here. Sony looks like it's backing away from putting their exclusive single player games on PC, says Mr. Shrier. So, Everborn, I know we've been talking about this thing. I know we've all been kind of doing the back and forth on Discord. So I'll go to Mr. Paris Lily first. Paris, is this something that caught your radar? Do you believe it? You know, obviously Jason's reporting it, and Jason's not one that peddles hyperbole or peddles in falsehoods. So
he's also not reporting it yet officially.
Yeah, it's just kind of he's putting it together. Yeah. What do
you might have missed it, but I talked about this a few months ago because I had heard this last summer. So I'm not surprised. Obviously, Jason saying it clearly gives it more credence. Who am I? I don't know nothing. But yeah, I had a conversation with someone over the summer that, you know, it was just a casual off the record conversation. We were just kind of talking about a bunch of different stuff, and PlayStation on PC came up, and I was mentioning about, do I think they would ever do day and date? And this person was like, no. He goes, if anything, they're looking to potentially scale back, and they would get out of PC altogether before they would do day and date. And I was like, oh, interesting kind of thing. I filed away, went on about my day. And then Jez had mentioned this, and then it came up again. I was like, oh yeah, I heard the same thing, you know? And then obviously now Jason and Nate and some other people are pretty much confirming it. So here's how I look at it. Cause I actually tweeted this yesterday. I muted the thing cause I know it's chaos. I was like, I think this is a mistake personally. I get that currently, yes, they've made $2 billion in PC sales and it has scaled back, but that's still $2 billion, right? I get it's a small percentage of their overall revenue, but clearly it's not hurting PlayStation hardware sales because they got 90 plus million out there. So why you've established this cadence of you doing this timed exclusivity with your single player games that I think Spider-Man was the earliest one to come, 14 months or something, like Spider-Man 2, 14 months or something like that. Why wouldn't you continue to do that? Because it's pretty clear people that are buying these games on PC were never going to buy it on PlayStation. They just weren't. They were not going to go get a PlayStation and play these games. If anything, you should probably push closer to day and date, because I think you're losing that initial buzz by it coming out 18 months later, right? At that point, you don't have the same enthusiasm. I'm just put it this way. You cannot tell me if Ghost of Yotei was out day and date, or Wolverine, let's go with that one. That's about to come out in September. If Wolverine came out on PC the same time it came out on PlayStation, guarantee you have a bigger PC sales, and you're still going to get the people on PlayStation buying it too. That's just me. Obviously, you know, I don't care about none of the exclusivity crap, whatever. I understand it's a business. They're trying to hardware. Here's my thought. I don't know nothing. I don't think they're 100% moving away from PC. Clearly, day and date is on PC, or not day and date. Live service is day and date on PC. But why? Because you need the audience for it.
They know where the audience is. Yes.
In my opinion, why wouldn't that also apply to single player? Because wouldn't you have a higher attach rate to that single player game? Wouldn't it generate more revenue if more people had access to it? Just seems like it would to me, right? And I get there's console warriors, people want to argue. I get people taking victory laps and all this crap, off this rumor. But I don't think they're 100% moving away from single player games on PC. Obviously, Death Stranding 2 is about to come. That's a kind of an outlier because that's Kojima. But
don't forget the new Kenna. They announced that immediately with PC, and they're publishing that.
No. Understand. And this is kind of my point. I don't think they're moving away. Now, I think maybe some of their like an Astrobot is never coming to PC. Clearly, they're not bringing Gran Turismo to PC. I know Jason Schreier mentioned Wolverine would never come TBD on that, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
Let's see what Ghost of Yote. Obviously, we know Tsushima had some moderate success on PC. So I don't know, man. Plus, PC, like we're just talking about Resident Evil, right? And just playing it on PC is the definitive version. And yes, the PS5 Pro version obviously is getting its flowers. I get that, but it never top what you can do with a high-end PC. So I always want games to have the option to play a game at its highest fidelity. And we know if you keep those single player games on PlayStation, we're never going to get to that potential of it. That's just me. I get there's other people that argue exclusives matters and this, and they dive into all the numbers and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. And obviously we've talked about this plenty of times right here on this very show. My thoughts about, PlayStation and PC. I think Game Logic was on here and we were going back and forth about it. And I told him I do see a day where it eventually would happen. Maybe I'm wrong. But we'll see. I would wait until we get the official Jason article to understand what the true plans are versus, him saying, yeah, there's some substance to it, but what's the nuance to it? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
What about you?
That last part is what I've been saying. I want to see, I'm not doubting it, right? Because if you have Jason Schreier, if you got Nate the Hate, if you got Insider Gaming, Jez, plus what you heard, Paris, there's smoke there, right? So I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is I don't understand, right? So I just want to lay out some ancillary, evidence here. Blue Point Games is a studio that has never made a PC port. They're a single player studio designed to do remakes, not PC ports. Demon Souls was not ported to PC. They shut them down. Meanwhile, Nexus, who only does single player ports and then one port to Xbox, they've expanded them, right? We know that they've made all these accessories for PC, right?
Oh yeah.
Remember the headphones, remember the monitor, remember all those things. We
very
know,
PC adjacent.
right?
Yes.
We know they've hired a multi-platform czar. We know that they're working on they're working on a launcher for PC, and they just did drivers for the PlayStation controller on PC, right? And we're moving into a time where they're talking about having to delay the PS6 until nearly 2030 because of component costs. And they are not able to lower the price, and they're going to make, this is what they said, this is not me saying it, they're going to make that money up by overcharging their own customers.
They didn't say it exactly like that, but that's what they said. Yes.
Right. So my point is they've done all of this in the PC space, and now we're saying they're gonna about face. It doesn't I need to read the full report. And again, do not take this as me negating it. I'm saying make it make sense in light of all these facts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I see Slow-Mo in the chat going hard trying to defend this thing. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, Slow-Mo. It'll be okay. Your precious will have their exclusives again.
Oh boy. But don't do this.
No. He's doing it to himself. But my point is, when you look at all of that, and Eastside Vandal said it in the chat, when are they closing Nexus? Explain to me what happens with Nexus if that is the case. Because Bungie doesn't need their help, right? Bungie been on PC in all these places. So what games are Nexus going to port if they're moving away from PC altogether?
Can I give you my tinfoil Kufi theory? Maybe that might add a bit more meat on these bones here. And this is just my theory, because it's been my theory for a while, that they either need to go or they are going to go. And this information, while it's a surprise in my head, it makes me lean more towards my theory. And by the way, I will put on the kufi if you want me to. I got the kufi right here. I can put it on, or I can let you borrow it. Boy, you want to borrow the kufi?
Also, our hip hop gamer, and people keep trying to doubt him. Hip hop gamer says he hasn't heard this, and Wolverine's coming to PC.
Yeah, there you go. There is that. Real quick, Eastside Vandal, great member of our Discord. You talk about the Discord. He says John Wolf took L's all week. Come join us. So there's that. Shout out to Eastside Vandal. But here's my theory real quick, okay? And I've thought about this for some time. We've on this program spoken many a times about how PlayStation should get into the PC market fully, because right now on Steam, obviously they're beholden to Steam, and we've seen how Steam and them have dealt in the recent past, right? Where if you do something that Steam doesn't like, they come in for you, and they don't care. They will, they'll put the kibosh on it for you. Obviously, you also pay them a certain amount of your revenue, or a certain amount of the cost in order to facilitate being on that store, right? So with all that conversation about them now pulling back from the PC store, and of course you're describing the money they've made and all that, it makes my head go, how the heck could they just back out and go back old school, quote unquote, exclusives on our platform, right? Like exactly to the description that you guys have made. Like even beyond the legacy play, and beyond the where the console keeping the console keeping the brand alive because it's exclusives and all this, right? Even beyond that, you've already made the money on this platform. Just like Amy Hood has already seen the revenue from PlayStation's proceedings, right? So to put that toothpaste back in the tube makes it super, super difficult.
I'm sorry.
Don't do this. Stop
Aaron PRND says they don't want to hurt the brand. Then why did they release Sons of Sparta?
Stop it. That's just mean and vicious. That's mean and vicious. Anyway,
please continue.
I say all this to say, I think they need to find another way of making themselves whole in PC, even if they step away from quote unquote traditional PC as we know it, right? And I think they will do so. What do I mean by that? Yes, sir.
We should also note, just for the sake of clarity, the current rumor is this would apply to their traditional single players
and not multiplayer. Yes,
not multiplayer. Multiplayer will continue
to be on PC. Yes.
The thing is that why I'm still wondering with Nexus, I've never seen Nexus help.
You gotta let me give you the theory that might help, because that PC that multiplayer versus single player thing, there's a really interesting distinction why I'm convinced of it. What can't you do right now on Steam, on Steam OS? Play your multiplayer live service games, but you can play on Steam OS all your single player games. Okay, I think, and this is me, my total Kufi theory, just total engineering brain, no prior knowledge to it. I think they're going the route of Playtron OS. I don't know. Maybe people don't know what Playtron OS is. Playtron OS is literally like somebody sat down, and you can look into it, sat down, saw what Valve was doing with their version of SteamOS, the Linux variant of SteamOS. This is based on BSD, just like what PlayStation uses right now, a flavor of Unix, BSD, right? And they have a store, an OS that has a store that's like using Proton and literally letting you play Steam, Epic, GOG games all to their OS. Play it. You can play it on handhelds. You can put it on PCs. You can put it anywhere. And it's their store. And now what Playtron OS is doing is they're being agnostic. So when you load Playtron OS to your machine, you can download from the Steam store. You can download from the Epic store. You can download from GOG, wherever you want. This, in my engineering estimation, would be them creating their own environment where they can play their first player, where you can buy their first person, like single player games, right? They can't do that with multiplayer because this is still exactly beholden to the issues of Steam and SteamOS. You can't do that as far as the live service stuff because this is still, the problem that they have. But in a single player context, they can have their own store. You can buy from them. You can play from them in 100% proceeds, and they're still in PC. All the hardware you just described works perfect right here. It's their own little separate PC ecosystem environment that's not beholden to Microsoft, that's not even beholden to Valve. It's their own thing. And you can get this because this, what I'm describing here, is an open source thing. Right now, PlayStation OS can be installed by anyone. They have certain hardware that they want you to use potentially, right? They're pimping you can put on a Steam Deck, you put on all these different variants of hardware. But at the end of the day, this is just their own flavor of Steam OS, their own place they live, where you can play all their single player games. And since they're pulling away like this, I am more convinced than ever that they will release this either in a PC context or in a handheld context of some kind to let you have access to their single player game.
I don't know if that makes sense to me, because the only reason you go to PC is for scale, right? And obviously something like this that requires either bespoke hardware or
this is standard hardware.
No, I understand. I'm saying they're either going to make their own bespoke hardware with this on it, or if you're going to ask people to install this, you're only going to get enthusiasts to do that. So talk to the various other vendors that make hardware that this could run on today. Like now, I don't see Sony going that part like that.
Who knows? I'm telling you,
I couldn't.
The only way you step away from PC and not have that hole continue to be is find a new place where you can have PC without having this hole.
Let me give you a better tinfoil koofy, because you just gave me a tinfoil tech guy. Let me give you the real tinfoil koofy. Okay, and I'm not saying I believe this, right? I don't believe this at all. This is just something funny to say. It is interesting that you hear, and again, I have to preface this, I'm not advocating for this. I'm just making a statement and an observation. Okay. So Mr. Kumbaya is riding off into the sunset, and the new management says things are the plan until they're not the plan. And now there's rumors of the potential of exclusivity being back on the table from the green team. I don't believe this, and I'm not advocating for it. I'm just saying.
You just heard Paris say he heard it last year, and now you're talking about something that happened last week. Come on.
Let me land the plane. I just think it is interesting that these rumors come out now when that potential is potentially on the table. I think that is interesting, that this is when people decide to leak something that they've all known for the last 6 months. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Sony's deciding that now. I'm just saying I think it is interesting when everybody knows that the next Xbox is a PC, and now you got the new CEO, so there's new possibilities. Now everybody's like, let's let the lid off that rumor right now.
Yeah, but to Kay's point, and forget what I said, Jez said this back in November, so it's not new. Just no one.
I'm not saying it's new. I'm saying people talking about it now.
Well, it's because it came up on Jason's podcast, and Jason even said, hey, I wasn't ready to actually talk about this because he wants to dot his I's and cross his T's before he does. But this, to the point, has been a conversation that's been happening in the streets for a little bit. So there's some, I guess what the point is, and we'll obviously see what the full context is, but there's definitely some validity to it. I came away from the conversation I had there, well, yeah, they're not going to do day and date, but I just assumed, and I still do, that they will continue to put some games on PC. What that cadence looks like has probably changed. But I will still say, until I am just 100% proven wrong, we saw what Herman Holtz said in his internal email about Bluepoint. And we know what Phil Spencer was ringing the alarm bell for years, and we're seeing the results with all these studios, Highguard as an example. But this industry is on fire. This industry is not sustainable in its current model. So going back to the old model, thinking that's going to be sustainable, doesn't make sense to me. Until I have someone, who's actually in those rooms and does the finances, tells me that putting a game only on one platform is more financially viable than putting a game on everywhere. I don't believe it.
Especially after you've seen the numbers of you, because there have been some success stories, especially after you've seen the numbers that you've been able to achieve when you've put it elsewhere. Once you've done that, those of us that work in corporate, it's very difficult to claw that back unless you have another way of filling that gap.
I have an idea, gentlemen. Now, Nintendo does this to great success, but Nintendo does not do $200 million games, right? And so perhaps the way that this plays out, and we know they're talking about cost cutting, maybe Sony is backing away, along with this, is backing away from the $200 and $300 million games, and you're going to get smaller experiences.
So what you're saying is they're doing this in favor and making nothing but Ghost of Sparta moving forward.
Right. I'm not just Ghost of Sparta. We know that Astrobot didn't cost $200 million, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Ghost of Yote is not like they said it had a similar budget to the first one, which is under $100 million.
Yeah.
Right. So perhaps it makes sense when you are not blowing the budget like a Spider-Man 2 and a Ragnarok. You know what I mean? So perhaps this and listen, we don't know.
Mad slanderous in our chat right now. Shout out to Clef. It's like more Sons of Sparta and less of Ghost. Yes, indeed. That's what it looks like it's going to be right now.
So I say this to say, even the new God of War remake, we don't know what scale that remake is going to be, right? So it could just be a new coat of paint with the same top-down thing, right? Or they could change it up. So I don't. There's ways I'm saying there's ways they could potentially make this work. Now the risk here is Sony's also at the same time telling you, all right, we're going to make our single player games only on PlayStation, but they only do one a year.
That's what they
now. If you have an industry where the growth is coming from PC, and that's not me saying it, that's Matthew Ball saying it. So you could take it up with him if you don't like it. Right. So the growth is coming from PC. You have the competitor that they had on the high end moving to PC. So that's even more people that'll be on PC. And let's not say they're just going to go to PlayStation, because that hasn't played out. The PlayStation did not pick up whoever left Xbox. Right. We haven't seen that because they haven't outsold where they were at this point last generation. Right.
It's always the same. The bubbles always tend to be the same.
I say this to say they used to be able to bolster their output with the likes of their third-party partners, right? Square with Final Fantasy, Capcom with Street Fighter V, all of these other games that PlayStation could never convince in this current market not to go to PC. Even their second-party games that they are literally funding, like Kena and Death Stranding, they couldn't keep them off PC.
True.
Right? They couldn't even keep those off Xbox. So I say that to say, with all these other games, like Resident Evil Requiem, like Crimson Desert that we're getting ready to get, like all of those things is Sony's one first party single player Sad Dad Simulator game a year enough to have the intended effect?
And on that note, Sony has also released an update letting folks know that an upgraded pisser technology for upscaling is on the way for the PS5 Pro. With that came a lot of conversation, specifically with about the AMD. AMD came out and did a quick little blurb about how they've been working together and how those benefits will end up on the other upscaling technologies, namely FSR. So it does look like they are still emphasizing their console platform.
Wait a minute. You say that, but then what did Jack Hume come out and say? This technology is for the streets.
We'll get but that's what I'm saying. It's going to go to FSR4.
This is another. You're doing all of this with AMD for things that benefit everyone on PC. Mm-hmm. All of this moving and inching closer and closer to PC. And now we're saying This is what I'm saying. I need the full Jason Schreier report. I don't need these. I don't need what he said on a podcast. I don't need somebody who heard from somebody who heard from somebody. We need the full reports, right? Okay. Because it doesn't, like Paris, everything you said, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't mean it's not happening. I just don't understand. And this is the other, one last thing I'll say, right? In terms of the Blue Point thing, right? People are saying like they closed Blue Point because From Software didn't let them remake Bloodborne. Okay, cool. You're working on 3 God of War remakes, as well as you have Killzone and Jack and Daxter right there. There's things you own in your control that you could have put them on. Instead, you shut them down. But go ahead.
Paris, what are your thoughts? Adding to the fact that they're also talking highly about the new PSSR 2.0 that's coming out, which, of course, as Everborn points out, it seems to be like an extension of what will end up in FSR 4 anyway, as far as the graphics card, the PC graphics cards. What do you think about this whole juxtaposition of them stepping away from PC as we're talking about, and them emphasizing this stuff here?
Well, I mean, it isn't Resident Evil. Isn't that technically taking advantage of this new PSSR update?
It seems to be.
Yeah, so I think it's the first game that's doing. No, great. I want to see the PS5 Pro be able to have even better visual fidelity. So if this PSSR 2.0, is going to do that, great. And you would assume this is really an audition for what we can expect on the PS6 as well, because the technology is going to continue to improve. And if this is now going to scale into FSR 4 and go into AMD with PC gaming, hey, that gives them more competition against NVIDIA with DLSS. Great. That's how I see it. So I don't think there's anything bad here at all. And again, we've already talked about PlayStation and the PC initiative. I'm just at the point now where, all right, let's see what it actually is, because I don't think it is as cut and dry as, yep, we're never putting a single player game on PC again, or we're about to go day and date on PC either. There's clearly some middle ground in here of what they're doing, because I will go back to the point again until someone can make my lizard brain understand differently. If quote unquote protecting the PlayStation brand was the whole reason of this, right? They were losing brand identity or whatever the case. Why are live service games on PC and Xbox then?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because allegedly you have 90 plus million consoles out there, so there's your audience to support those live service games. But clearly that is not enough to support a live service game. So you, at minimum, need that live service game on PC. And as we've already seen with Helldivers 2, it is also on Xbox. Now, I don't think that Horizon one's going to be on Xbox, but the point remains. If you don't need to expand your audience, then live service games wouldn't be there either. So clearly there's a reason why.
True. They see where they can emphasize most of their fans because those live service games hit on those platforms. So they're going to keep them on that platform.
Right. And, and I've also seen the argument of, hey, it's not worth the extra cost of development time to port. Like obviously Nexus does a lot of that it's not worth the financial gain isn't big enough and worth it to, I guess, protect their brand identity if I'm saying this correctly. I don't know. Again, it's still PlayStation. People still buy PlayStation. People are still buying games on PlayStation. See, the thing is, Nintendo, because everyone loves to bring Nintendo into this with this whole exclusivity talk. Nintendo, number one, their hardware is cheaper. Their development costs are cheaper. And they have an unprecedented attach rate to their hardware. Xbox and PlayStation is nowhere close to the attach rate that Nintendo gets for theirs. So they don't have an incentive to go multi-platform anytime soon. But I will bring it back again. Phil Spencer has said it. We've seen other gaming CEOs say it. Obviously, Herman Holtz just said it. This industry is not sustainable in its current model. Why do you think Square Enix said, yeah, we're not doing the exclusivity thing on PlayStation anymore. We're going everywhere. You've seen Capcom trumpet record-breaking numbers of PC engagement for their games. You know, obviously people are talking right now about Resident Evil, like the amount of people that are buying and playing that game on PC. So I just find it surprising that PlayStation would back away from a growing platform, a growing audience. That's just my thing. Because at the end of the day, this is a business. It ain't about our feelings. It ain't about your console wars. It's about making money. So again, if they can, and they don't have to explain it to me, but if there's a financial reason that they think they're better off keeping their single player games on PlayStation and not continuing on PC, so be it. I understand that, the business side of it, because trust me, it's not about, I'm gonna just pick on you for a second. It's not about pleasing Umbra. They're not trying to please Umbra by keeping PlayStation games on the console.
What if they switch to all UE5? That would please Umbra.
Oh boy, that would definitely please Umbra.
But you get my point of what I'm saying. So we'll see. And like I said, I understand there's people that have been consistent about saying, no, they need to keep them exclusive matter. You need to keep it there, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. And I respect that. I would just simply say, I definitely never agreed with that. And I'm just giving my reasons as to why. And if I'm proven wrong, I will be the first one to come out here and say, you know what, I was wrong. You was right. Flowers to you, sir.
I will quickly say,
it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him.
So I agree with you. I would say that specifically for Sony and even for Nintendo, their brand recognition of what they've been doing is so well worn that I don't think that's even a factor in the equation, right? When you're playing a game, you're playing a PlayStation, right? That is the known zeitgeist for whether you're in gaming or out of gaming. They have successfully been able to establish that. And Nintendo has successfully been able to carve their niche as well. I think of all of them, probably Microsoft and Xbox needed that careful proceedings with their brand more than all the others, because they've established theirs over years and years and years and years of iteration. But Aaron's question is also pertinent here. How low is the attach rate do we actually think it is on the first party Xbox consoles? Do we have any theories? Do we know?
So that's a difficult question. I think it's most difficult to answer for Xbox because of Game Pass.
Because they put it everywhere. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people on Xbox console have, Game Pass, and a lot of them are playing those first party games when they come out. But how do you weight the attach rate if it's included in the service versus someone who's making the active decision to spend $60-$70 on a game? Also, we had a super chat from Slow-Mo.
I'm about to get to it right now.
He has a theory.
I'm about to get them all right now. But first and foremost, I will say, shout out to the great 108 Dragons TV with a final super chat. He says, good morning, my gaming community. The holy trinity of content creators are in at this morning. Good morning, gents. Good morning to you, sir. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to the great Lemon. I hope you're doing well, sir. And then, of course, the great Slow Backslap with final super chat. He says, theory here. What if it's just their big releases going to PC? The smaller single player releases don't sell well on PC currently. Yeah, what do you think of that?
Damn, and Sons of Sparta is never getting that port.
No, but that could be it. Look at Astrobot. I will never, and obviously Astrobot is a celebration of PlayStation, so it makes sense. But to that point, Astrobot's never coming to PC, and I don't think anyone should ever expect it. Let me say this before I forget.
Okay.
See, I don't think so, because everything is skewed around celebrating PlayStation. It just wouldn't make sense. But let me say this before I forget. I'm actually very excited in, 2 weeks, 10 days, however long it is now. I'm going to be at GDC. I am treating GDC as a place of learning. I think a lot of what we're hearing right now and all this, you're going to have those conversations from people that are in the know, that are truly educated about this. So I'm definitely going to be on a question asking mission of certain people in the industry to understand.
I'm looking for some interviews from you, Paris, when you get there. You got to ask about this PlayStation thing and how the business makes sense, because I'm sure there'll be people at GDC talking about that. 100%. And I need you to wiggle your way to Asher and Matt and Gandalf the Grey, as we called him, Jason Ronald. And I need you to get the tea. And we expect you to come back and spill the tea, sir.
Spill it real quick. Indeed.
I know you're going to ask the question. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, I will say at a minimum, yes, I will ask the questions. If I get the answers, TBD. We'll see. But that's the whole point. Just if I can say this really quick, I don't pretend to know everything. And I obviously am very opinionated. And I know I come off authoritative in that way because I'm very opinionated. But at the end of the day, I'm just speculating like a lot of other people. Sure, I'll get a crumb here or there that'll help point me in the right direction. But, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? And if this, because I've definitely talked for a while about, they should go day and date on PC. Why are you gatekeeping this stuff? Put it everywhere. Who freaking cares? But there's a layer there. If there's a financial business layer there that it does not make sense for them, I would love to be educated on it. So I know, because trust me, I'm not listening to random Twitter person tell me that. I want to hear from a person that actually works there tell me that.
Absolutely. Yep. We would all like to hear the actual logistics of how that makes sense, because some of us can't square that circle. For now, we can't, especially since they've already started down that path and have seen success. Not like ridiculous success, of course, but still they have seen success. And when you see success, clawing that back and going, no, we're not doing that anymore, that is very, very unusual. I would like to understand that myself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we're going to transition to more of the, because we're in the PC world, in the Sony talk, we're going to transition a bit more and talk more Sony. But before we do that, we're not going to talk about it, but this came out today. I saw this today, and I have to mention that people talk about it. I'm not talking about Dad Bod of War. We'll get there. That's what they're calling it. Dad Bod of War. But I'm talking about Gamers Nexus. This came out a few hours ago. If you haven't watched this, do yourself a favor and go see it. Basically, the TLDR of it is Sega and a few other, Sega, Nintendo, Sony, a bunch of them have dev kits in the UK that they have third-party companies basically go get rid of, right? So a bunch of e-waste, and then some guy goes and purchases this e-waste, finds a bunch of stuff, and TLDR out of nowhere, the dude shows up one morning, he's drinking his coffee, and police raid his home. They're coming for the dev kits. It's a wild story, like wild story. Sega's involved, Nintendo's involved.
What dev kits does Sega still have out there?
Bro, it's the old school stuff that's now e-waste. Literally, back in the Sega Genesis and Saturn and all those days, those dev kits ended up in a landfill.
People using those for emulation, like reverse engineering.
Watch the video. They basically, a kid went, a young man went to like a basic a landfill, purchased this old stuff, right? They're just selling a bunch of crap, finds a bunch of dev kits and old gaming paraphernalia from the 90s and whatnot, brings it home, and then out of nowhere, cops show up at his door because he's stolen dev kits, and it's a whole like crazy sting. It's a wild story. The great Gamers Nexus is doing the story on it. Whenever I need to learn something, that's where I go to. So I will put this in the chat. Do yourself a favor and go watch that at some point. We're almost done here. Wait for us to be done, but check it out. Great story. Let's transition to more Sony talk in Dad Bod of War. I'll call it Dad Bod of War, okay? I'm sorry I have to call it Dad Bod of War because that's what everybody seems to be calling it. I think this is, I don't know. I have thoughts.
The poor camera angle. We'll start with that. I do want to ask is there any like this? So are we sure that Amazon didn't just use AI to generate this?
We're not sure.
That's what I thought when I first
The only thing we're sure of is that this is an official photo. This is not fake. This is not, and for those who've been watching this show a few times now, like a couple of weeks now, this is where Everborn will defend. Last week it was Sophie Turner, whatever it was, and now it's this one. Tell me why my eyes are wrong, Everborn.
Well, look, we don't know anything yet. Maybe they could use some film grain or something to make it look more gritty. I don't know. I don't know, man.
So yeah, needless to say, I saw this. I've always had a side eye on this project because I feel like some of it was good. Like a lot of the folks that have been tapped to do this is excellent. I'll actually go to the top of this list and show you guys what I'm talking about here. Like they have really done a good job in defining some of these roles, right? If you remember the games, they've done a very good job, and there's a Variety article showing you some of the folks that have been tapped to do this. But I don't know, man. I feel like the Kratos one might be not as great, not as inspired of a choice. A lot of these others, I'm also not sure necessarily about Kratos, about Atreus, just those two. But the rest so far, I've actually been able to stand behind because they really look good, and the actors themselves are very, very, very great actors who are potentially performing here. Paris, I'll go to you. I haven't really heard your takes on this. I'm super excited by some of these choices, like Odin, for example. I think it's inspired casting. More and more of them are coming out. They're really, really good, bolder, inspired casting. What do you think of the casting of Atreus and Kratos, and what do you think of these new shots that have come out there?
It's two things. I think the casting is fine, but I think they should not, because look, this is going to be, when we get the final product, this is not what it's going to look like, right? I don't think they should have showed this.
It's not color.
Yeah, exactly. So people are reacting to what they see, which they should, but that's on Amazon. That's on the studio for deciding to put this out. Whereas I think if they would have waited and we got an actual finished product of what God of War, like when the trailer comes out for this, I think people are going to have a completely different opinion about it. The casting's fine. Again, it's fine. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the movie now. With Denzel. Oh my God, the football movie. Remember the Titan. Yeah, because remember he's in that. He's good. He was in Son of Anarchy too. He's really good. So the actor's fine. It's going to be fine, and the rest of the casting that we've seen so far has seemed pretty spot on as well.
So my initial side eye was like, it seems to me that they didn't really take the Greek mythology side too seriously, because he doesn't really look Greek at all. So I was like, they could have chosen a character that embodied
Greek
more of
person
that
look like. The
olive skinned, a little more native features.
Yeah,
like what? Yeah,
he looks more like a Viking than he does. He looks like he's more Norse mythology than Greek mythology. And this is a story about a Greek mythology god in Norse mythology. He fits where he's going more than he should.
I just feel like the way that people talk about whether he's Greek enough or not, like Greek people aren't black, right? Like,
no, yeah, we're not saying
that. He should have a tan, is what you're saying.
Well, he should have more native-looking features.
Yeah, but what is? I don't know. I just don't know what native Greek looks like. Just I don't.
Okay.
I feel like we might be a little bit nitpicky with this.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, this is a terrible shot, but in terms of he's not actually Greek, that feels like a little.
That was my initial. Like, hey, because there are many actors who do have, and they're younger looking and could embody that. I wasn't sure he could embody that. I see this image and still, this, again, not a red flag, more of a yellow flag, right? He's a great actor, no doubt. I've seen it in Sons of Anarchy. The man can act. We know what he's capable of. It's just that initial one was like, okay, and now this one is also continuing to not necessarily counteract that narrative, but still leave you in that direction. So I'm not smoking it. I'm not gonna make smoke, right? And I'll be here. I'll be the first to come on here and be like, look, I was wrong. The show is great. I'm looking forward to. I'll be there day one, of course. What we do here, of course. We will be watching this. But I will just say this did not allay too many of those concerns. Do you agree, Everboard Tiger? The people who had concerns initially are still somewhat concerned.
Yeah, but then the concerns went away when they saw the rest of the casting, and now we're back to we're two steps back when we see this casting. Let's let it all play out. I don't feel any way for or against it yet, because the rest of the casting could make up for this. All right,
very good. So let me quickly catch up on this super chat with the great Lucius Augustus. $5 super chat. He says, this should have been an animated and not live action. I have no idea why Hollywood has an issue with animation as a medium. I think it could possibly be because these days the world we live in,
just really quick,
spend that much money. Go ahead.
John Stamos is Greek, so he doesn't look close enough to John Stamos.
I mean, So when I see this man, when I see this gentleman, no smoke to him at all. He reminds me of.
It's bad makeup, but like,
listen. He reminds me of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. He reminds me of the male character of Assassin's Creed Valhalla more than the other character. And that character from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, guess what? They were Vikings. He gives me Viking vibes. Right? That's all. I'm not giving you smoke. I'm just telling you, when I see him, that's the vibe I get from him. Doesn't mean that he'll be terrible. Doesn't mean any of that. I'm just giving you my initial take. And again, when they come out and it eventually is great, if and when it's great, we will be here seriously, like, pleased to be wrong about it. In the here and now, I'm not sure how I feel about the visuals that are being presented. I said the same about Sophie Turner. You can tell me I'm wrong there. You can tell me I'm wrong here. That's fine. Right? This is what I'm seeing, and I thought I'd bring to the congregation, as it were. All right. So it is what it is. Now, Everborn Saga. Is there anything in this that will stop you from wanting to watch it? Is like, what would they do? What could they do to make you go, okay, now this is too far?
So I am going to watch it. I'm going to watch it because it is a video game adaptation, but I'm not like I'm not like a God of War connoisseur, right? I played 2018, I played Ragnarok, I played the old ones back in the PS3 days. But like, I don't care. I'm just like, I'm gonna watch.
Are very much up in arms about this, though. That's the thing.
But those are people. You can't ask me that. Those are people who like live and breathe God of War. God of War is just
to John Wolf
franchise that I like. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah,
I'm not like not beat one way or the other about
so in other words, you're admitting that if this was like, I don't know, Zelda or something, and they were going off.
If it was Master Chief,
pitchfork in hand.
I don't have strong feelings, so I'm just gonna go in and see what's on offer, and then go from there.
Great Pixel Bit G with the hammer this morning. I'm not even gonna read it. I'm just gonna put this here and just keep it moving. Cause Lord, all right.
A lot of them don't got no problem saying that to you, Pixel.
All right.
All right, keep going.
Let's go. Well, we're in movie land. We're in on the real talk. So we have two interesting ones. One's hot, and one requires explanation. Let's do the hot one first. And Paris, I don't know how you feel about this one. This is gonna be hot. What are we talking about? We're talking about the great Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, who we here on this show, we've done on the real minutes about this man because we love the work that he has done historically, both in the Marvel MCU. I actually even liked the Marvel MCU stuff he was doing. It kind of went off the rails before he was let go. But before then, his Lovecraft Country work and all that I thought was excellent. This is what established him. We everyone and I really were galvanized by his work there. And of course, we remember what happened. Ooh, everyone, you're on mute.
Don't forget The Last Man in San Francisco. Don't forget The Harder They Fall. A lot of great really work. Good work.
Yes. And then of course the man had some issues.
The Five Bloods with Spike Lee.
The Five Bloods was excellent. Oh man, that was so excellent. Anyway, then what happened? Something happened. You know what happened. Those who know the man's story know his story.
Railroaded.
It is what it is. He got railroaded. I will agree with that.
But
Creed, yes, Creed. Shout out to Creed, yes. Right. And now he's basically been sidelined as you tend to in this cancel sometimes. Yep. And this cancel culture, you get sidelined, and he has been sidelined. And now we hear he is getting another chance. He's getting a reprieve. He is, as the title suggests here in this article, Jonathan Major makes a movie comeback in the Daily Wire action pick filming this week in North Carolina. So he has gotten a chance to get another chance at Hollywood, so to speak, in a film being directed by Ben Shapiro, if you know who he is.
Produced.
Is it produced? Oh yeah, you're right. It is producing. Yes. And being funded by the Daily Wire and all of that. So, this is an edgy conversation, I'll say, but I'll leave it on the razor's edge and say, clearly, some people may not like where the funding for this film is coming from, who's representing this film, and otherwise,
let's not forget Zachary Levi's also in this, and Zachary Levi has been crashing out ever since his DC movie ended.
And since Shazam, yes. So, how do we feel about this? I wanted to talk about this because I'm like, I wanted the brother to come back. I think he's a great actor. I feel like what was done to him was really foul, unfortunate, right? People make mistakes and they talk about it, and eventually they get a second chance, they get a reprieve. This didn't seem to be happening with this man, and now it looks like this is the chance he's getting. But how do you feel, Everborn? I'll let you start.
No, because I'm gonna go on for a while. Paris.
Okay, fine.
You want to speak on this?
I don't know if you even heard about any of this. You can choose to bow out, sir. You can choose to bow out.
I heard about it, obviously, and I will just simply say we see the cast and the production of this. Who's involved? We know the troubles that Jonathan Majors has had over the past few years. Yeah. I'll put it this way. Pretty sure Kang's not coming back in Avengers Doomsday.
So here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, there is a problem in Hollywood, and we all see what happened to this man, and we all see that his counterparts of a lighter hue have gotten second chances for far worse, including several MCU actors. Looking at you, Josh Brolin, Jeremy Renner, and Robert Downey Jr. Right? But what he did is a straw too far for him, and now the man couldn't even get work in a Tubi movie. And so somebody's offering him work as an opportunity for him to come back, and he's not supposed to take it.
Can I interrupt, because you said you were going to go for a while? Let me be clear on something. I was being a little tongue in cheek.
That wasn't for you, by the way. This is for the people.
No. I know, but I just do want to say this about Jonathan Majors. Yes, we've seen other examples of people that have done similar things, if not worse, that quote unquote have gotten a second chance. Look, Stevie Wonder can see why he's not getting that chance right now. We all know why. I don't need to say it. He's doing what he has to do. I mean, that's the bottom line on it. He's doing what he has to do. We don't know his politics. We don't know his stance on any of these things, but it's work and he's taking it. I can't be mad at that.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not walking around with blinders on. We know what this is about. The people that are putting this together, just if you look at what their track record is and the kind of films that they fund, even the way that this is being described as an anti-woke sinners, what does that even mean? Right? So even that, what it is to say, so that they can say, look, you were outcast by these people, and we are embracing you with open arms. And that, my friends, is how it happens. That is how you get fair-minded people who don't pass purity tests pushed into the arms of people who end up radicalizing them. Because the idea is, we don't like you, stay in a corner, you can never come back. When you say that, people will go to the people who are offering them work. Because all of these people that are mad at this, they don't want him working in Hollywood, or they're not giving him work. And so what is he supposed to do?
So here's my question, though. Here's why I bring this up, because I agree with you as far as, like, because for me, and I know you and I are the same, we kept a close eye on this whole proceedings, and obviously the man was railroaded. We feel that way, right? And because of that, seeing that the man is getting some work is great, right? I'm hoping that it gets him back on track to a point where maybe one day he can be considered as he should be considered, right? My question
Tyler Perry didn't even call this guy up to put him in a movie.
Well, that's a whole conversation. Don't get me started on Tyler Perry. We join the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. I've had my TED talk on Tyler Perry on the Discord. We'll talk about that later. My question is, knowing like the actor, the caliber of actor that he is, and we appreciating the work he does and all of this, Does it put a like a crossroads in people's minds whether they should go and they support this thing? Because hey, this is Jonathan Majors. You want to see the man succeed. Maybe it's a good movie or a good story. Does this turn into Hogwarts Legacy? If you know what I'm saying, for my gamers out there, what do you think, everyone?
Well, Hogwarts Legacy was insanely successful.
It was successful.
Personally, I will be supporting the movie, right? Because I want to see him come back. And a lot of people think that this is the death nail in his career because you do this and then everybody's going to hate you, but everybody hates him anyway, right? And I'm not talking about the people that know he was railroaded, that are not decision makers. I'm talking about those people in Hollywood that won't give him work.
Yeah,
like you won't give the man work in Hollywood, and now he's going to do this. Now, there is a path to this, and we're going to come to the Warner Brothers Paramount.
Yeah, we'll do that after this. Yeah, we'll do that after this.
But if that is what I would hate to see, right? Because if this is the way he goes, okay. If this movie does well, maybe he's working with Mel Gibson, another great film director. Great terrible politics, right? Or maybe you like his politics, but whatever, right? But still on that side of things, right? Then we notice Warner Brother things is happening, so maybe he can't come back as Kang, but maybe he can't come back as Green Lantern. Right? I'm just saying. We see where the Warner Brothers thing is going.
Are we drawing lines now?
Owning that. Listen, I'm just saying this is a path for him to come back. Yeah. I know he does well. I hope the movie does well. I would like to see him come back and rub it in the faces of the people that dropped him like a bad habit. So I support, even though I'm not a fan at all of the production house behind it.
Paris, what are your thoughts? Do you, you understand what I'm coming from as far as liking this actor, wanting to see him come back to life in that way, but the thought of supporting the project being quote unquote dubious, if you will, depending on how you feel about it? Like, is there a crossroads there? Is this successful, or will people have that in their minds when they're going to buy a ticket? What do you think?
I mean, Jonathan Majors, the actor, is phenomenal. He's one of the best that we've seen in the past decade. He's obviously made his mistake. Like I said before, he's doing what he has to do, right? Mm-hmm. By taking a job. Now, how we'll react to it, like you said, the whole woke centers thing, it's like eye roll. Mm-hmm. I don't. Yeah. He had to make a choice. He's clearly walking in understanding the potential ramifications of it. But if Hollywood has already pushed him out the door and this is the only type of work that he can get, he's doing what he's got to do. You know, and
but I guess my question to you is,
accordingly.
Will you buy it? Will you go and support it?
No, I'm not watching some ridiculous woke sinners movie. That's ridiculous. No, I'm not gonna go see it.
So wait. Let me flip it this way real quick, because yes, the subject matter itself sounds dubious and ridiculous, so that itself disqualifies it possibly. But let's pretend we hadn't heard.
Also, you have to look at who wrote that article. That may not be the.
Of course.
How they're describing it. That's whoever wrote the article.
Of course. Yeah. But I guess my question is.
Also, hey, Kay, sorry. I'm so sorry. Just before I forget.
Sure.
That whole DC thing, I said Green Lantern. What I meant to say was Val-Zod. Don't tell me you can't see it.
Yeah. I can see Val-Zod. Yeah, I can see Val-Zod for sure.
Sorry.
For sure.
Continue.
Well,
Michael B. Jordan at one point was supposed to play.
Was talking about it. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah. My whole premise for asking is take this actual content out of it, because the content will matter most, obviously, right? But let's assume the content's great. Do we go support the man because he has great content, or does the source and funding stop people from doing so? That's my question, right? Like, do you? And I understand, Paris.
Listen, saying, if he goes out there and starts tap dancing in the promotion of the movie, then no. But if he stays true to who he has been, on and off screen in the lead up to the movie, I will go and support, even though I'm not in support of whatever
of the source. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Paris? Are you feel the same? Is it the content focus, or does the source matter to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, if Jonathan Majors is in a good movie, then sure, I would love to go see it. But when I see, again, I don't fault him for doing what he has to do. But seeing who's behind the movie and what the content or focus of it is seemingly going to be, I have zero interest in that. Again, they could have Denzel could be in it. I'm still not going to go see it. You see what I'm saying? It's like, because that's not the kind of movie that I want to go consume. Yes. But I don't fault Jonathan Majors for going to do what he got to do to get his money. That's all I'm saying.
What is he going to do? Sit on Megan Good's couch forever?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But what Everborn said, now if Jonathan Major comes out and all of a sudden starts promoting certain ideologies and talking points or whatever, then I'm gonna look at him a little sideways. Like, really? Okay, you're in the movie, but damn, you got to do all that? Now I'm looking at him a little differently. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think if you think about the broader purpose behind it, it was to get this headline happening and to show that there's a certain perception of them, and they're going to say, look, that's false. We're working with this guy. So I'm imagining strategically they're treating him like a king because they just want his face out there to show that, hey, we're not what you think of us. Look, we're working with him. He's happy with us. We didn't have him doing anything crazy. And then they can use that now in the background and say, see, those guys on the other side are crazy. They're just making stuff up about us. They're the ones who blackballed him. We welcomed him in and we treated him with class and respect.
Yeah.
That's the strategic thing for them to continue what they do on the regular. I don't think it's going to be something where they make him do that, because listen, the other side probably wants him to go in there and play a slave or wear a dress. I said it.
Dang. All right, so because you just said that, I will supersede and do and put it out there. The Great Runaway Dragons agree with the man Everborn Saga say with super chat saying, call a spade and keep it real. Indeed, he said that before. But before he dropped the final super chat and said he's blackballed for avoiding the BS. But we go watch drug addicts and domestic violence, racist comments, actors. Oh please, he's black. That is the issue. There you go. It is what it is. It is what it is.
If I could interrupt for 1 second to say this. You know, I know some of our younger folks here may not have even heard of this person or of this movie, but the great Robert Townsend made a movie in the 80s called Hollywood Shuffle. I highly recommend you go watch that, because everything we're talking about, he said that 35 years ago or however long it was, right? Doing bad math.
You know what's something that's reminiscent of that? It came out recently. It's called American Fiction. It had Jeffrey Wright.
Yes, I watched it recently. Amazing film. And because you referenced Robert Townsend, now I got to say, go watch Media Man, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, go watch Media Man. Anyway, so
I sound like I'm drinking water. I don't even know what that means.
Listen, hey, at least he didn't say whiskey.
All right, Everborn, we're putting this last one out here because this is how we're going to end this one today, because Everborn has been drinking deep of the WB and Netflix and Paramount conversations and all the back and forth, the machinations. There's some recent updates. It's kind of wild. I'll let you strike this match because I know you've been really, really focused on this. What is going on, and are we in a world where Netflix is walking away?
Okay, first, we are in that world. They're not walking away. They've walked away. Now, first, I need to do this.
Okay.
Infinite Umbra, you were right.
Uh-oh.
I was wrong.
Oh, damn.
In the beginning of this, Infinite Umbra was very disheartened, and I told him he was having loser energy because he was so scared that the Ellisons were going to use their political connections to push this thing through, and if they wanted it, they was going to get it. And I told him money talks and BS walks. And the Paramount, David Ellison, the Nepo baby, is he bungled this thing. He's moving real loose, and Netflix was disciplined, and they got this in the bag. And so it looked like that's the way it was going. Netflix secured the deal. Paramount was out here looking like clowns. And then Paramount started this hostile takeover thing where they went directly to the shareholders and they started making noise in the public. And what I started to notice, and to my credit, I did say the concern is I didn't know if Ted Sarandos was going to be able to get into a bidding war, right? So what does that mean? When Paramount wouldn't go away, they basically agreed to, this wasn't a negotiation. David Zaslav gave them a list of things to do, and Paramount did everything, right? So if we back up, Warner Brothers signed a deal for $83 billion where Netflix would take over HBO and the Hollywood lot, so they would be getting into the Hollywood business. Paramount was crying. They offered $103 billion. They wanted the whole thing. So they wanted HBO Max plus the Hollywood lot, plus they wanted CNN and all the cable networks. And Warner Brothers didn't like that deal because they weren't, basically Paramount wasn't offering enough.
A quick emergence here. That last piece you're talking about, would that be the king in the ABK deal of this, where this is what we really want, but we're going to keep your eye on this, the cable networks? I feel like that's what that is here.
I don't think it's that. I'm going to come to that.
Okay, explain. Continue.
Yeah. So, but Paramount wants the whole thing, including all the cable networks and everything like that. And so even though the bid was higher, in Warner Brothers' eyes, it wasn't really higher because they valued the cable networks more than Paramount did. And so the other problem with Paramount is that they had money coming from all over the place. Like 25% of it was coming from the Saudis. Then they had a bunch of banks, and then the money wasn't really backstopped. And so now Paramount used that. They started reaching out to shareholders directly. And what I noticed in the stock is that Netflix stock had gone down 30% since Paramount had been complaining, because Netflix shareholders did not want to be in a bidding war, right? They we're good with the deal at 83. We don't want to do that because now you got the president and you got Congress looking at the deal, and Netflix has been doing a good job at flying under the radar in terms of politics and antitrust and all that. And so they just didn't want to be in a hostile, protracted war to release these assets and overpay for them. So because Warner Brothers needs to do their fiduciary duty and they need to entertain all offers or they could get sued by the shareholders, Netflix allowed them to reopen the negotiation with Paramount for 7 days. And in that 7 days, Paramount agreed to pay Netflix the $3 billion, it's like $2.8 billion, but it's basically a $3 billion breakup fee if Warner Brothers decides to walk away from the signed contract that they had with Netflix. Then they also agreed that if the deal doesn't close by the end of the year, they will be paying Warner Brothers, Paramount will be paying Warner Brothers $650 million every 3 months that the deal doesn't close past the end of this year. And so then that's how they got back to the table. Then they moved their offer from $30 a share to $31 a share on top of all those other incentives. So in all, they will be paying around $115 billion for these assets. Now, just would like you to know that when AT&T bought these assets back in the first Trump administration, they paid about $110 billion. Then they couldn't make any money with that. And so then they sold those Warner Brothers assets to Discovery. And those, at that point, they sold it to Discovery for $46 billion. Those same assets that Paramount initially bidded $19 a share for, they're now paying $31 a share. So here's the other part. Paramount is a company that is only worth around $10 billion.
Yeah, they are bidding more than they're actually worth, right?
But it gets better. The only way Warner Brothers would agree to this deal is if the 25% of the funding that's coming from the Saudis is the Saudis get no voting rights on the board, right? And Larry Ellison, founder of Cisco, also who recently acquired TikTok,
whose family owns Annapurna Games. Continue.
Yes. He must fully backstop the deal if any of the financing pull out. So if the Saudis pull out, if Citibank pulls out, if whatever the other banks pulls out, he's got to backstop that deal, and they cannot back out of it. And if for any reason Paramount cannot get this through regulators, not just in the US, but the EU and wherever else, they will have to pay Warner Brothers $7 billion.
Wow.
To that end, David Zaslav was on the mic telling the employees, we don't know if this deal will close, but if it doesn't, we'll collect our $7 billion and we'll continue working.
And we'll be peace out.
Now, Warner Brothers, on the other hand, if this deal...
One moment. Let me pause just for a moment because I see something I have to do this. I apologize. I see the great Jez Corden just gifted 5 memberships. First and foremost, thank you for the support, sir. I appreciate you. Shout out to Jez Corden, him and the dynamic duo that is the Xbox 2. What did they celebrate? The 400th episode yesterday. Kind of wild. We are on the wings of giants here. Thank you so much for checking out the content. By the way, check out his latest interview with the Xbox, the new Xbox execs. Great interview, fantastic interview. If I say so myself, if you know, you know. Shout out to Jez Corden. Continue, sir.
So
we have another one. We'll get to it later. Go ahead.
Right. So now Warner Brothers says this deal is superior to Netflix. And they go back to Netflix and they say, Netflix, you got 4 days to raise your offer if you still want us. And Netflix says, peace out. This was a nice to have. It was never a must have. Whether we get this deal or not, we will still be the number 1 streamer in the world. Doesn't matter. And so now Warner Brothers is stuck with the financing coming from multiple places, right? And they're stuck dealing with the Ellisons. And again, like if you're paying attention to anything, you know that you know what's going on with Barry Weiss and CBS News and all of that. And these people who are doing that are going to be controlling CNN and all those other things. Now, what we found out yesterday is that Paramount, Skydance, has already paid Netflix their $3 billion.
Oh, wow.
They already have the money. Now, here's the funny thing. What does Netflix do with that $3 billion? There have been talks of a talent drain at Warner Brothers if this deal goes through. Netflix could use that $3 billion to poach Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca, the creative minds behind HBO, right? Now, the other thing is Larry Ellison is on record saying he looks at this as a real estate deal. So do you think they're going to keep around the studio lot at Warner Brothers and Paramount?
Yeah, a lot of consolidation.
Netflix could go in and buy that lot from Hollywood and they could have their Hollywood lot if they wanted to. Now, the biggest issue here, because a lot of people were kind of scared of Netflix and what happens to theaters, but Paramount this is a literal horizontal merger. Paramount's in the same business as Warner Brothers. And this is the highest LBO, which is leveraged buyout, in the history of acquisitions. The highest one. They're 7x levered. What does that mean? The debt on this deal will be 7 times what Paramount and Warner Brothers make in a year.
So they're about to pay. They're going to pay this debt for many, 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 many years.
Right, and when you're paying all that money to service this debt with record high interest rates, are you going to have money to invest in content creation?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's never mind the fact that they said they're going to get rid of HBO and roll it into Paramount Plus.
Oh, that's painful. Oh,
they're going to keep the creative team, but get rid of the HBO name, roll it into Paramount Plus.
So instead of keeping HBO, the name that matters, you're going to get rid of the one that matters and keep the
name of the game when you are this levered is cost savings. Paramount already says they see $6 billion of synergies. That is when they say synergies, that means jobs. That means we have overlapping jobs. People are going to get fired. You thought the ABK acquisition was bad with the fire,
bloodbath,
right? So shout out to James Cameron, who was on the side of Paramount with this. What is going to happen? And that's before we get to the fact that there's apparently a blacklist of actors, including Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone and all that, who
will never get work.
Right. Now, I will be fair on the creative side, right?
Before you move on, let's quick question for those here who love the geek side of the house, right? What does this spell for? How does this play out for their comic book arm and the DC Comics arm and say Warner Brothers that makes those movies and even the gaming arm? How does this all play out for them?
This is what I'm talking about. It is the name of the game is cost cutting, right? They're saying $6 billion, but even then it's going to be higher than that because they won't be making enough money to service the debt, meaning pay the interest on the $100 billion they're borrowing for this. Because remember, they're a $10 billion company. They don't have any money in the bank. I like the Sonic movies, but Sonic movies and Tom Cruise are not paying for this deal.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Interesting.
So now I just want to be fair. I want to be fair here. We can say like they're going to change the content of DC and HBO and all that. Paramount is the home of South Park.
Yeah.
Right? So I get what they're doing on the news side, but they're also the home of South Park.
Yeah.
And we know South Park does not pull any punches, especially in terms of this administration. That being said, Paramount says that they plan on keeping, they name drop James Gunn. They plan on keeping him in place. But does James Gunn still want to work for the people that got him fired from Disney?
Right? Yeah, true.
So the question is, Kevin Feige is going to retire soon. I know Disney would love to have him back running the MCU. Right? There's a lot of staff that just straight up said they don't want to be involved with this organization. There's going to be a brain drain and they're going to leave. And again, do you think when they got $6 billion worth of cost cutting that they're going to keep around DC Comics? Yeah, they'll keep the movies. You think they give a damn about the comics? If you do, I got a bridge to sell you.
So where is Ed Boon in all this? Where is NetherRealm in all this? Where is I
don't think they're keeping none of that.
Yeah.
So
what are they doing? What are you seeing?
Are
you seeing them getting closed or sold?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if this deal is going to pass because whatever you can say about the U.S.
The other regulatory bodies that have to weigh in,
antitrust landscape right now, that does not apply to the EU. Don't apply to the UK. So we'll see how that plays out. And the California DOJ, because Hollywood, California, even if the FTC doesn't want to do anything, the DOJ in California says they're already opening an investigation against this. So we don't know how it's going to go yet. It is not a done deal, but as of right now, Netflix is out. And when this is another thing, how you know that the shareholders didn't like it, the deal. Netflix stock shot up 10% on Friday when they announced they were backing away from the deal because the shareholders did not want them in a protracted bidding war, overpaying for the assets. So now Paramount absolutely overpaid for the asset. Netflix walks away. They made more in market cap yesterday than how much they were going to pay for Warner Brothers.
That's crazy.
More than $83 billion. They made the market cap is up that much. And then they got $3 billion in cash for their troubles. So Netflix walks out fine. The biggest winner is David Zaslav here. Right? Because he got all of this. And even if the deal doesn't work, they still got $7 billion. But the biggest losers are going to be the employees of Paramount and Warner Brothers, and
possibly us when all this shakes out, because that content's going to get crazy, or the things you love may not be.
Comics. I don't think DC Comics is long for this world.
Paris Lily, you've been quiet, paying attention. I know the man Everborn Saga drinks deep of all this stuff. He loves this stuff, so he's been paying. This has been his beat for the last couple of weeks. What are your thoughts, man? I know you've been keeping an eye on this.
I think he nailed it all. So I'm not going to relitigate everything that he said, other than to just add on the whole point of this, regardless of the debt, everything that you're talking about, not the money. This is about control. This is about. Let's simplify it. This is about CNN.
Yeah,
that's what this is really about.
That's what I was asking. Isn't CNN and all those new networks? Isn't that the king?
Abby Phillips better be calling up Don Lemon right now and asking how he got arrested, so she could get her YouTube numbers up. That's all I'm saying.
Seriously, right? I feel like people are very focused on this part of it. But that back deal, that the cable networks and how they function and how you can control them, that seems to be the focal point of the want here. They're just not talking about that, but that seems to be the focal point. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're spot on. And that was my concern about this. Like there was definitely negatives to Netflix getting Warner Brothers, but I kind of viewed it the same way I viewed the last presidential election, the lesser of two evils. That's just how I saw this. I would have rather Netflix had acquired them, than Paramount. But
oh man,
it is what it is. Now, like I said, CNN is not going to be what I would consider a reliable news source, and I get news is already slowly but surely starting to become more and more unreliable. Embrace independent media. That's all I can say.
YouTube is going to become your source for a lot more than gaming news.
And I want you to think about this, right? For the Gen Z crowd, the Ellisons already have TikTok in the US, right? Yep. For the boomer crowd, combining Warner Brothers cable networks with, or millennials are watching cable news, right? Combining, CNN and all the stuff on the cable side, and then the local news networks for the boomers, they've got the trifecta, right?
Yeah, they got you locked in.
You're talking about generational information control.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Day Reezy had a question that I want you to answer. He's asking, how much will you let that bridge go for, Everborn? He wants to ask for a friend.
Oh, the bridge that I'm selling? What
That's right, the bridge you're selling. That's okay. Right. All right, let's catch up a couple more of these. Parasite 82 Green 19 with another 5-pounder. He says, I think if Major was a villain for a new Stars Power chapter, I reckon he would do so well, like Gus, Gus Fring killed it in Breaking Bad. Yeah. The man's talent has never been up for question. I think everyone agrees that he's a super talented dude. I'm just worried about how this will all shake out.
The man deserves a second chance, and I can't be saying that, and then somebody gives him the chance, and I don't support it.
And then you don't take it. I feel you.
Even if I don't like the people that are giving him the chance, I'm supporting Majors and not really them.
I appreciate that. And then, of course, we have Mac 22.
Unless he starts tap dancing, then all bets are off.
He starts doing the dance. When he starts doing the dance,
then he can kick rocks.
He starts doing the dance. You're like, all right, I'm out of here. So, Mac 22 TH 54 with a $2 super chat. He says, CNN, can you say Fox News too? Oh boy. America, we're in it. We're in for it, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. And then, of course, the great Santi Lou, who's a member of our Discord, she drops a $5 super chat. Santi says, "That's wild. HBO has been a staple of American culture. They are crazy to get rid of it. Just dumb."
I think Netflix
Absolutely.
should use the $3 billion and poach the HBO creative team.
Yeah. There's so much to keep an eye on here. I don't think it's all over, but there's a fight to be had, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is just the beginning of this. 2026 is going to start with all these, it's going to be kind of heavy. And you think there's a world where these guys don't get this thing through because the EU says here and no further?
I mean, there's a lot of questions to be asked. This is a legit horizontal merger, right? And this is two direct competitors. This would be like, Xbox and Nintendo combining, right? Not like just buying a publisher like Xbox buying Activision. So, normally this wouldn't fly, but Disney Fox flew.
Yeah. We live in a new world now. Yeah,
under the same administration. So, but that's in the US. The EU is different. And the thing to look out for, and again, these are easy fixes. Warner Brothers has a lot of EU sports networks that are heavily regulated. So they may have to divest those in order for the EU to pass it. But we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to happen in 6 months. You figure 12 to 18 months for this thing. Or 12 to 14 months.
All right. Well, so for the most part, I think we are done here. There's so much more news out there that we could have covered. Quickly, there's talk that.
No, I do. We do have one more thing. Paris.
Okay.
Are you with us, sir?
Yes, I am here.
All right. So what do you make and what do you think? And I know we don't know yet, but I'm just asking you to use some conjecture here or predictions. What does it mean to bring back Xbox? And what are some things in the short term that the new management can do at Xbox that you think will excite people about the brand again?
Yeah.
So let's take it from the last point and roll it up to the top. In the short term, I wouldn't expect anything. I think it is literally status quo. I think a lot of the things that the previous regime has already implemented are in motion. There is no reason to disrupt that ship for the simple fact that at this point now, like I talked before, let's get to GDC. I think that is an inflection point where they can start having some conversations both on and off the record. Obviously, the June showcase is going to be a big deal for them. Let's see the approach and the narrative that they want to display at the June showcase. Then we're getting Halo campaign evolved. We're getting Fable. Forza Horizon 6 would have just launched right prior to that, right? You're getting Gears of War E-Day. You're getting Modern Warfare 4. So, and obviously whatever other surprises they'll have along the way. Their roadmap is clear for this year. There's not really much they need to change. Just make sure the games are good. I mean, that's really essentially all they need to do. Obviously, the 25th anniversary is going to be another big event for them where that is probably where you now set the future roadmap for Xbox, because this is a quote unquote, here's the next, she even said it, the next 25 years. Now, the question, a return to Xbox. Anyone thinking that they're going back to pure exclusivity, you're fooling yourself. That genie's out of the bottle. I just don't see that happening for them.
DC genie was out of the bottle for PlayStation.
No. Let me finish what I'm saying.
I'm just joking.
No, but to the point of what she's already said, they will continue to support multiple devices. She's in learning mode right now. She obviously has to lean very heavily on a Craig Duncan, on a Matt Booty, for guidance on any potential changes. Game Pass clearly is going to be a huge discussion in there. Do you continue to do day and date? Do you now combine PC Game Pass and Ultimate? Do you raise the price on it? Like I said, do you get rid of it altogether? I think there will be a Game Pass tier that needs to continue to live with them going with this hybrid approach of Magnus, whatever that's going to be. Windows, the best place to play. Again, that genie's out of the bottle. They're not reverting from that. So this is where I say previous leadership has already taken them down that path. Matter of fact, it's one of the conversations I will have at GDC, but that's for another day. But to that point, now you have to figure out, all right, like Game Pass, because the multiplayer paywall is going to have to go away with it being on Windows. That's just a fact, right? You're creating an open platform where Steam and the Epic Store and GOG, and let's just assume Battle.net, Ubisoft, all that's going to live on that box moving forward, right? You're going more PC focus. They're obviously trying to streamline development to where you got to make the game once and it's just playable on these boxes, right? So let's see what happens to Game Pass. Will the Magnus continue to be a premium product? I think it will be. Again, she's saying she wants to take care of the console customer and all that. You can't do that and have a multi-device approach at the same time. You have to have some compromise there. What is that compromise going to be? I don't know. And this is where they need to set the tone on that and let us know what it's going to be. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's games, man. None of this matters without great games. So sure, 2026 looks great, but what is 2027 and beyond going to look like for that? How does that synergize with Windows? What is Magnus going to be? What is it going to be priced at? What is the future of Game Pass? Is day and date just a thing? I think they keep day and date, but I think they're going to put it in such an expensive tier that it's just checking a box. That's what I think. I think the focus is going to be play anywhere, buy the games. That's where I think they're going back with that, in my opinion. I hope that answers all your questions.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm going to be on mute for just a second, so please talk, and I'll respond in like a minute or so.
No worries.
So there's a few things, right? If you look at the new Matthew Ball report, right? And we said a little bit of this last week in terms of Game Pass. People are surmising that they'll change it or get rid of it, and they can't change it too much. Because if you look at the growth in the market, yes, the industry grew by about like 4% in 2025. But when you look at how it grew, it tells you a story, right? It didn't grow from the console perspective, right? Where it did grow is in microtransactions, China, and that is Chinese games by Chinese developers, meaning a market that Western developers have had trouble cracking, right? And the third place that it grew is in subscription spending. That's where the growth is, and on PC, right? So, you can't get rid of the thing that is the only growth vector that you have.
You mean as in Game Pass?
Yes. Right. And
another tie to it is also, like we've discussed, you can't get rid of it, absolutely, because of it's where it's growing, and it's also what's subsidizing all of the cloud efforts as well. Like, right, it is. If you look at the subscription tiers, like it used to only be at a certain tier, now it's in every tier, and all those tiers have risen in one way, shape, or form. It looks like it's covering the cost of using that cloud. We all know they're transitioning to Azure servers. And like I was talking to folks in the Discord yesterday about this, you can calculate to the millisecond how much is used and how much is paid for using an Azure server, because that's how cloud compute works. So if you're using your Azure servers, if you're playing your game, they know exact to the millisecond how much it would have cost if somebody else was paying them to use that. So how are they going to get rid of Game Pass in a real way to make you not want to use that while still being able to continue to run those cloud servers? Right? It doesn't work. They have to keep it within.
Yeah, I don't doubt that they'll make adjustments to the subscription, but the idea that they'd get rid of it and they're kind of the leader in that or very high in that space doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So they'll have to maybe find ways to adjust it, maybe do an ad supported tier, things like that, but they're not going to get rid of that, especially when you figure, people aren't going to have to pay for online anymore. So Game Pass still needs to be enticing. So that's the first thing. The low hanging, as I said, the pathway is set out. They've already got the chips with Magnus. They've already talked about backwards compatibility. You already got the 25th anniversary coming up. You got Halo, Gears, Forza, and maybe Fable coming out this year if it doesn't get delayed. So you got the games, you got a hardware, all that's in play, and it was there by the predecessors. What she can do now is address the biggest issue that Xbox has always had, and that is messaging. So can she get their messaging on point in the short term until she makes her mark, right? And I don't know if they need to bring back exclusives because, again, people rock with Valve and Steam. Yes, they like the Steam Deck and they want a Steam machine, but that's not why they're there. And they're not there for the exclusives either. They've created something so special that it's almost religious. The Gabe Glizzy, as people call it, right? So I think Xbox can try to cultivate that by operational excellence and delivering and introducing customer focused features that make people want to use their store and stay there, right? So those are the things that I think they can work on in the short term is messaging. And here's something that's easy. Xbox makes $24 to $25 billion a year. Bring Major Nelson back. Give him 200,000, 250 a year. Just have him do podcasts. It doesn't matter, right? It's a gesture to your 25-year fans that, hey, we're respecting the old school. Here's Major Nelson back. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't got nothing for him to do in the building, pay that man his money, bring him back. That is a sign to get people saying, you know what? We are going in a new direction.
So
messaging, bring back Major Nelson and focus on ruthlessly improving your consumer experience if you are going to move to PC.
We will see in what direction they're moving, in my opinion, based on a lot of the stuff we see this June. As a person who's been lucky enough to attend those June showcases, a few of them, I'm hoping to potentially get a chance to go this year, if and when that is a thing. I have a feeling that will be very telling, because in recent years it's been more, we know it's good, we know it's for the fans, we know it's important, but this money is a problem and we need to cut back. And they've been cutting back to the point where last year, as y'all recall, it was very limited, right? Very limited, to the point where Paris, I had the great fortune of getting to hang out with Paris, but it wasn't as we did years before at the Xbox theater or in the showcase. It was more the great community fan fest event that we did that Ben and the rest of us were involved in. That was really great, but it wasn't from them, right? So to me, honestly, like if you want to see the narrative turn, if you want to see the fan base start realizing that, hey, there's a shift here, I would say like this June will be very, very instrumental in starting that, where you put the emphasis back on that community. You put the emphasis back on bringing people together and pulling out all the stops. I keep hearing a lot of the great heydays when they were really, really invested in that, and it was just wonderful for those who'd come year on year and come celebrate with their community members. It seems they've stepped away from that in favor of obviously other things and how the world is today. But to your point as to how they change the narrative, how they get people galvanized again, how they bring quote unquote Xbox as a community back, that is one of the quickest, most immediate ways they could do that, right? She's talking the talk. I want to see them go back to the Xbox theater, like the Microsoft theater, in a real way, right? I want to see them do it as they did in the heydays. And now that's tough because money is still money. It's still hard to do. So if they are spending the spend, that tells me that they're actually, refocusing on that community.
I would like to see, feel how you feel about Phil. I'd like to see the Kumbaya days go away. And I'm not talking about exclusives. I want to hear spicy talk again.
You want to hear some energy?
We're the best. If you like, this is where we are the best place to play and put your money where your mouth is. You don't have to say, we're going to artificially do exclusive, but you could say we putting out a box is better than theirs. Show it, prove it, and more importantly, talk about it like you love it, not like it's after the fact and antiquated. And
so what you're saying is you want them to hire John Wolf to be their PR manager.
I just want them to talk like they actually use and love the product that they're telling you about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk spicy again.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the great Soil Tech with a $2 super chat. He's here. He says, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Yeah. I see what you did there, man. Don't do that. That's not
stuff
cool.
Like this.
Well, this is what we do. Yeah.
They tried to sell you a bill of goods saying the employees didn't like everything is an Xbox. Then why was the Halo Studios people wearing a PlayStation shirt when they announcing the new Halo? Why did the South of Midnight devs go and get the award for impact and forget to bring a black person up there who was in the cast, but they remembered to tell you the game was coming out on PlayStation? Why do you have social media managers from Xbox can't wait to tell you how much they love to play the next PlayStation game? So don't sit here and tell me the employees didn't like Xbox everywhere. They love the PlayStation ports. So why don't we get back to pretending like you sell a box also and talk about that in the most high regard?
Are you done with your tech talk, sir?
I'm not telling you, again, I'm not telling you pull stuff back. I think it's the right business decision in this economy, but you could talk spicy again. It's not hard.
Okay. And I think you get no notes from the people in this crowd. They're all agreeing with you as they do, except for the great Flood.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Once again says,
yeah. But hold on, Flood. What if the next console is a PC? What you gonna do then?
Oh Lord, we're gonna do this again. All right. Well, okay. Let's get out of here because we're a little late. I was gonna say the only other one that I kind of wanted to talk about, but we don't have time to talk about, was that Nacon is filing for insolvency. If you don't know who Nacon is, they make controllers. They published Greedfall. They published Hell Is Us, and they published RoboCop Rogue City. Great games, AA in its pursuits, but really, really interesting stuff. It's basically sounding that they're folding up shop. They're filing for insolvency, aka we got no more money. So that's very unfortunate, very sad. If you have a chance to go buy their games, some of them are pretty good. So there's that. It's quite unfortunate to see that news, but I think we're done here, sir. This was a great show. Lots of really interesting topics to drop, and lots of great games also at the top. So thank you, Mr. Paris Lilly, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Everborn Saga. Paris, tell the people where they can keep up with your ongoings this week. Anything else you got going on that you want people to know about?
You can just keep up with me, Gamertag Radio, Kind of Funny, my personal YouTube channel, which I changed to my name, so it's Paris ML. And yeah, I'm on social media, rambling about stuff and making people mad with my opinion, I guess.
Always that. Join Blue Sky, man. It's such nice conversations there.
Yeah. You know what though? Can I rant about Blue Sky for just a second?
Please,
a quick second.
Let's go.
I'm on Blue Sky, and I definitely have some very nuanced and high level conversations there, which I do enjoy. But there are also some people that think their stuff don't stink there. My God, you have some, what's the word I'm looking for? You got some Karens over there for sure. Really? I'm like,
people over there are the kind of people that don't give Jonathan Majors work. I'm sorry, keep going.
That's another conversation.
That's what you call a callback. That's what you call a callback right there. Good job.
But it's I guess just my point is, it doesn't matter where you go in social media. You're always going to have some people that want to disrupt the conversation. Some more than others. Oh, let me say this for the record. This is a place that I've not publicly talked about this, but I have to say this. So obviously the BAFTAs, what happened at the BAFTAs and the stuff with Tourette's, right? When I saw what happened, I made a comment about it. Didn't appreciate it at all. And it had more to do with, I understand you have Tourette's. I understand you can't help saying what you said, but there was not an immediate apology that followed it. And that was my issue. My God, I made a comment. It was just under a reply. I said something. Mm-hmm. I had a stalker who, because I deleted the tweet. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm not going to sit here and argue over stuff. And I had a stalker that screenshot it, and every post I made for the rest of the week would comment on it. Followed me to Blue Sky, doing the same thing. Followed me to Threads, doing the same thing. One person kept doing this over and over. That goes to the point where that's literally mental illness. I don't know how else to say it. There is something wrong with you that I didn't say anything else beyond that. A tweet that I didn't delete it, but you wanted, I guess you needed your gotcha with me or something. Weird stuff. Absolutely unhinged, stalker behavior, weird. Don't do that, ever. You're weird if you do that.
So I'm glad you brought up the BAFTAs thing, because with everything going on, I almost forgot about this. Let's just understand what happened, right? I'm not going to make any statements as to the nature of the disease that the individual has. What I do know, though, is that the BAFTAs were called by Warner Brothers and made aware of this and given time to bleep that out, and they left it there. And when he made a homophobic slur, they did bleep it out. And when somebody said free Palestine, they did have the time to bleep it out. Yeah. But when you drop the hard ER, that's when we fumbling around and don't know when to press the mute button. And then the people's response, because this guy with his affliction, he is more of a human than Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. So they're more offended at you for being offended than the fact that it was said. The fact that how dare you be upset? Meanwhile,
and by the way, yeah, go finish.
If he had, and we know this, when he said something homophobic, they made sure to bleep that out. He said something that when somebody else said something that said in support of the Palestinians, they made sure they bleeped that out, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody had said something anti-Semitic, it never would have saw the light of day, and he probably would have been escorted out there. But us now, yeah. You don't really.
Now we got, yeah, that's right.
But see, and that's the whole, and that's the whole point, Everborn. And that's the whole point. Yeah. I'm tired of us as Black folks who've had to deal with so much BS and racism over the years. How dare us actually stand up for ourselves on anything? Yeah. We're the ones that are wrong. That's my problem. Again, he has Tourette's. I understand. He said something that he could not help. Understandable. But show some regret towards it. Apologize for it. Because honestly, even his quote unquote apology really ain't a damn apology. You know, the nonsense with the BBC editing other stuff out, but not editing that out. At what
they were
point
warned, by the way, Paris, they were warned. Warner Brothers told them.
And you had a microphone right by him. Why?
We're not going to spend all the time adjudicating all that, but he didn't say homophobic slurs to non-homosexuals. He didn't say,
and that's the point,
to non-African Americans.
And that's the thing. Yes,
like we can say whatever we want, right? This is for me, as I've seen it, and y'all can come for me. As I've seen it, what this is doing is making your inside voice go out loud. That's what's happening here.
Again, to put, like you said, to just put a simple bow on this. Two Black folks are up there presenting an award. You say a very racist word towards them, but
for Black people, yes.
The coincidence is astounding. And again, I understand it's a disability.
He did it when, which is also, it's a disability, right? The disability, as I understand it, is not helping your inside voice go out loud.
I'm not.
It's still in your inside voice.
I don't want to like his situation. Like I'm not trying to do anything about that guy. Only because I don't know. Right? Yeah. Maybe what you're saying is correct, but I don't think we need to go that far. It is the reaction behind that. Right? right?
Yeah.
I have not studied those things, and I don't want to sit here and pretend I'm an expert on that condition. But what I do know is the BAFTAs did not bleep that out when they bleeped out other things. And what I do know is those people that's running in my comments and your comments and stalking Paris, they're more upset
about us
you
being
are
upset. About it. Yes.
Right.
And that was my whole thing about it. It's like, bro, like, because what I really said, and I have to go back and remember exactly what it was, but I essentially was saying, I didn't think there was an excuse for this. I understand you got Tourette's or whatever, but it's like, but thankfully Delroy and Michael B. Jordan professionals and they pushed through it and handled it. That's all I said. But all of a sudden now I'm against the disabled community and this and that. And it was like, bro, as a black man, to see two other black men stand up there, hear that. Clearly they acknowledged it. You could tell Delroy don't be playing.
See that, Paris?
And like, it's like, apologize, edit it out, do something. Why is it when we actually question something, we're essentially told to shut up and dribble? That's what we're told.
Because in their minds, you don't have the right.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane.
They saw his humanity more than everybody else. They saw his humanity more than Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo and all the people that had to hear it. Yep. And that's what you see in the response. And so, I'm just taking note of everybody that was jumping up quick to become a expert in Tourette's now.
Like, all I got to say is this. Imagine if when it happened, he immediately had a statement. Hey, I got Tourette's. I couldn't help what I said. I deeply apologize. It was not meant as an offense to Michael B. Jordan or Delroy Lindo. We would have moved on. But that's not what we got. And that's why people got upset.
By the way, if I have an affliction, right? And it causes my hands to shake, right? And then I spill my coffee on you. I don't say, sorry,
I got an affliction.
I got an affliction. I say, oh my God, I'm sorry that I spilled the coffee on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because that doesn't take away the fact that I didn't do it on purpose, but you still got coffee spilt on you. So I apologize.
Yeah. It's a simple concept.
It's not a difficult thing.
Absolutely. Well, there's a last super chat. I'll take that. And that brings us back to gaming. And that's Mr. Two Opinionated with his $5 super chat. He says, quality games, marketing and messaging. Spicy talk without exclusives is toothless, but excitement is key. So
but here's the thing. The Steam machine is coming out. Everybody's excited about Steam, and they don't have these exclusives.
Is it?
Well, that's a different story. My point is that you think they're rabid. You think this Warrior stuff is limited to consoles? There's rabid Steam fans. And they're not there for the exclusives, is what I'm saying. So you can get people excited about your platform and not have exclusive games. That's just my opinion.
On that note, we are done here. Thank you to Paris Lily, the Barbie console warrior. Salute to you, good sir. This is great.
I appreciate you inviting me on, man.
I may see you in June because we out there. We're gonna be doing it. I don't know, it in one shape or form. Where I'm planning for June, so I will see you out there. I look forward to seeing your content from GDC. That is a benchmark that I still have not hit yet. Maybe next year. I want to go to GDC. That seems like it's my kind of event. I would love to be a part of that. So shout out to Paris. Thank you for being here, and we'll keep an eye on the content. Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, how about you? Anything you need the people to know? What you're doing? How's the house building coming along, Mr. Contractor?
We are pushing towards this June completion date. I don't know if we're gonna make it, and then we move into the next big construction project. So, which can't talk about yet, but if you're in the New York area, you will be interested in what we're doing next.
Very good, very good. Paris, stick around after the show. I have one thing I have to discuss with you before you go. But for us, I think we're done. It's been a great show as we do. Thanks to all the people who've been here. Shout out to all the folks who are watching all the various platforms they're doing. Thank you for hitting the like button. If you haven't done so, how about you do that before you get out of here? Thank y'all so much. And we'll see y'all next week. Okay, now the thing won't even work. It's not working. Oh heck, here you go.
Nice to be in orbit.